Hit the music as well. We're live. Background, background, background. Keep going down to where the background music is and just play it. Yeah, there we go. People, you're live with the Curious Fijian. We're live again. This is the second live stream. We've got a jam-packed episode for you today. We're joined by Charlie Herdman, Sam Creasey, Joe, the Benwell Bomber Laws. We've got a big episode. We've got the UFC 294 to talk about. We've got Isaac Chamberlain to talk about, who's the Commonwealth and British champion now. It's a jam-packed episode. We've even got the influence of boxing to talk about a few weeks ago, because the only people who got robbed were us. And yeah, so let's, without further ado, let's get into it. Did KSI get robbed? That's the big question we're all asking. That's the question I've seen constantly on Twitter. Let's take that music out, actually, because I think it's a little... That's the question that everyone's had on Twitter. That's the question that we've asked ourselves. There's been back and forths, arguments, Mams Taylor, appeals. They want to be treated like real boxers, but they're appealing every time they lose. It's carnage. But yeah, the only people who got robbed were the fans, and KSI needs to realise that. He needs to sit there, take a leaf out of his own book and say, who have we robbed here? It was a awful performance from KSI, because leading up to it, you had in the main card, you had like Dean the Great fighting Waleed Sharks. You had Slim fighting Salt Pappy. We were all to me, they were the real main events. And I think I'm talking from a selfish perspective, because I was so excited for these two fights. Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis sold me the world. They sold me the world. So I was so excited. And we'll get on to theirs. But yeah, the KSI Tommy Fury fight was just absolutely unbelievably bad. 38 total strikes for KSI, 39 total strikes for Tommy Fury. KSI, he done better than everyone thought he would, but are we judging him off how good he done, or are we judging him off how well he done to what we thought he would against a pro boxer? Tommy's a pro boxer. Is he a pro boxer? I'm not 100% sure. He's at this influencer level. He's probably just a little bit better than this influencer level. He's not had a big amateur career. But yeah, 38 shots to 39 shots. It's not good. It's not good. It won't. It didn't look good. It didn't roll. It didn't roll smooth. The fight was awful. KSI kind of just done star jumps for the whole fight, and then every time they would go to engage, he hugged him up. I mean, you can get away with it if you're doing the star jumps and you're staying on the outside and you're landing a few shots and you're sort of walking around and Tommy's chasing you. Then yeah, you could get away with that. But to do all of that and hold and only land 38 shots, it weren't even worth an appeal. I don't know why they did appeal. But if we look at the list of appeals on there, let's pull the list of appeals up, Marks. If we look at the list of appeals, look how many people appealed on the card. You had a former appeal made by Pineda. You had an appeal made by Dylan Danish. You had an appeal made by KSI. And you had 3 appeal made by Chase Moore. I can't actually read the other 2. Yeah. Chase Moore, Alex Wasabi, and Alexia Gray. So there were 6 appeals. I think that was half of the card. I think half of the card appealed. Why do influencer boxers, they want to be treated like real boxers, but whenever they lose, they can't take losing? It's mental. It's mental to me. The show as a whole was decent. The Dylan Dennis Logan Paul fight was it was an abomination, to say the least. Dylan Dennis, we knew he was going to do some mad stuff in there. He was always like, he tried to get Logan in a choke. Yeah, you can transition me over. He tried to get Logan in a choke at the start. I think it was in round 1 or 2. He tried to get Logan in a headlock. Logan hit him. Everything erupted. We did have the video for you, but we had to take it out because when we were running tests on the live stream, it got copyrighted. So thank the Zone for that one. And Mams Taylor. But yeah, it was just all out bad showing. Miles, did you watch the card?
Yeah.
Yeah. You may as well add yourself in for this one then. What was your thoughts and opinions on the card, and what shocked you the most?
I thought I've just put it on. Yeah, it should be on. Yeah. So I thought the best fight of the night for me was the one before the main card, the main 2. Was it, who was that? Slim versus Salt Pappy, was it?
And Dean and Waleed, yeah.
Yeah, them 2 were a good fight. I only watched from there onwards, to be fair, but and the tag team match, man, stupid. But the main 2 card, they were awful.
Yeah, I think they sold it. They sold it to us good. Dylan Dennis like put on this spectacle. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Logan Paul. Do you know what I was shocked about Logan Paul? I was shocked because he gives it all the talk. He says, "I'll beat Jake. I'll beat this person. I'll beat that person." He still looks as bad as he looked.
Yeah,
he's always looked. He when he throws, it's like he gets really happy and he throws all these wide hooks. Like if he's fighting anyone even half decent, like I'm not even saying decent. I think if he's fighting Tommy Fury, he gets smoked.
I think he gets knocked out.
He gets he gets smoked. He's not good. He was blowing out of his arse after 3 rounds. Dylan Dennis was just shelling up, and then I'm thinking, yeah, all right, that was bad. But KSI Tommy Fury is going to be like, it can't get worse than that. It cannot get worse than Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis. It got worse. It got worse. John Fury's face after said it all. Tyson Fury's face after said it all. Tommy he's in a weird situation. He's in a weird situation because
he's earning too much money.
Yeah, he's earning too much money to go back to normal boxing, but
he's losing his credibility.
He's losing his. He didn't even have credibility, but any credibility he did have is gone. Any credibility he had is literally gone. Yeah, obviously Logan did do what he could, I suppose. He still doesn't look any good, any better. They made themselves realistically look bad. They talked a good game. They were awful. So they sold the public. They sold us. We brought the bait. So they're good marketers.
$1 million+ pay-per-views as well.
$1 million+ pay-per-views. million plus pay-per-views. So, yeah, but I do want to say a shout out to Waleed Sharks, Dean the Great, Salt Pappy, and Slim, because that was the real main and co-main event. That was the people's fight. We didn't know it at the time. We didn't know we needed that. But I said it when I've done all my predictions, when I've done everything, I said that for me, they're the 4 best boxers. KSI and Logan Paul shouldn't even be nowhere near the top. I wouldn't even put KSI top.
They're just the biggest names.
KSI's maybe top 7, 8.
Yeah.
Like, but 8th. Logan Paul's like 9th because he lost to KSI, so he can't be better. Jake Paul to me is not an influencer boxer, so I don't even put him in the brackets because
I feel like him and Tommy Fury are like that.
They're in that middle tier. They're in no man's land, and like Idris Virgo and stuff. So the card was, I mean, look, the kids enjoyed it. It done over 1 million pay-per-view buys. The card was a success, but for what we wanted to see and what we thought we were going to see, it was not a success. It was not good showing. Yeah, I'm not too sure about what was going on. Let's send that invite marks to Charlie. But we got Charlie Herdman coming on. He's got his own boxing promotion. He's one of the youngest people to put a boxing promotion on. So we've got him coming on shortly.
Yeah, I'll transition you out.
So we got Charlie Herdman coming on shortly. Sam Creasey's interview still to come. We caught up with him on his Cage Warriors fight. And we got Joe Laws, who took a fight on short notice. I believe it was 11 or 12 days. He took a fight on 11 or 12 days notice, eating cheesecake 2 weeks before, he said. Comes in and beats Hennessy Jr. We've got him coming on because I just want to know about everything, all things what happened with that fight. But I will touch on a little bit of the UFC while we're just here. What was going on with the refs, the refereeing? Johnny Walker, I think he got kneed in the head. He got an illegal knee done to him, and he's sitting there and he's a little bit dazed and he's sort of like recouping himself. And the referee comes up, asks him questions, which they're meant to ask questions. They're supposed to do that. I get it. They're trying to look out for the fighters. But he asked him, "Where are you?" And I think Johnny Walker said after, when he was speaking on Ariel Helwani, he said he didn't want to say the wrong answer. So, and obviously there's a language barrier. He's Brazilian. The referee's not Brazilian. He's not from there. So they ask you where are you? And he goes, "I'm in the middle of the desert." And the referee calls the fight off. Johnny Walker's in the ring going crazy, pushing the referee, like saying to Uncle Liev, like, "Let's go, like let's what we messing around here? Let's carry on fighting." The referee's trying to break it up. Dana White comes in the octagon and has to calm things down, because all hell's breaking loose. So he put a lid on it. So fair play to Uncle Dana actually putting a lid on it. And yeah, it was just mayhem. And I think the referee done something else as well. If people haven't seen the card, someone got a nut shot, a serious nut shot. And the referee goes, "You got kicked in your groin. You didn't get kicked in your nuts." And he had to go to hospital. And apparently his nut was like the size of his coach tweeted out and goes, "He's in hospital now having an ultrasound because his balls are swollen like a tangerine." Like, and the referee goes up to him and goes, "No, you didn't get kicked in the nuts. You're good. Like, let's run it." But I don't think I've got a pet peeve for that card. I don't really think that they should be doing a full card of Dagestanis, man, because the card goes too quick. They're just going to run through everyone. We knew they were going to run through everyone. They ran through everyone, and it's just we don't really want to be seeing. We don't want to be seeing that. The fights are going too quick. Like, I thought the main event was going to be starting at 8:30. 9:30. Main event's been and done by 8 o'clock. But moving on, talking about fighting, talking about fighters. He owns his own promotion. He had his 5th professional fight over the weekend. He got the job done inside 2 rounds with a dirty left body shot. Let's welcome in Charlie Herdman.
How you doing, mate?
Round of applause. Back into a big win on your own card.
Thank you very much.
What was it like coming back to a big win on your own card?
I tell you what, I said this to Joe in the post-fight interview. It's great to be back. Putting together awesome shows over the past year since I last fought. I've been watching on the sidelines and I've been getting itchy knuckles. So to finally get back in there, fight on my own show, fight in front of an awesome crowd, and get the win in spectacular form, mate, I was absolutely buzzing.
Where did you put yourself on the card? Did you bump yourself up to main event, or did you try to give yourself a little middle slot?
So I am actually really superstitious, and my lucky number is number 8. From Frank Lampard, of course, Chelsea. So every time I fight, I try to put myself number 8. Hence why I did last night or Sunday.
That's not bad, and you get the job done in 2 rounds. It was a left body shot. Was that something you
2.
planned in? Was it 2 body shots? Yeah, the first one. I did not think he was going to get up after the first one. I actually don't think he wanted to get up after the first one. I think the referee sort of grabbed him up and goes, "Yeah, you're good to go, mate. Get back in there." Was this something you practiced in camp? Like, what's preparation been like for you?
Yeah, so I said this all throughout. My left hook, whether to the body, whether to the head, is my most dangerous weapon. It's the quickest, it's the most powerful, and I knew months before we even got in the ring that if and when it landed, he was going to go down. So that was the shot. That was the main shot for me, where I was like, right, if at any point the opening does come about and I can throw that left hook to the body especially, I know that he's going to go down. And that's what happened.
So what's the plans for you moving forward? Are you going to take another backward step and sort of just do the promotion? We will get into the promotion, but are you just going to sort of take a backward step and be like the promoter? Or are you going to look to have another fight? What's the plans for you?
So I want to keep really, really active. I want to keep as active as possible. Today, I think I've just secured my next fight. December 2nd in Coventry at the Hilton. I believe so. We're just sorting that. And then moving on into next year, I'm looking at fighting twice in February. One on one of my mate shows down in Kent. And then the one in the latter of the month on my own show in Coventry. So I want to keep active.
Where do you actually want to take boxing? How far do you want to go? Do you want to be a high level professional? Do you do it just for a hobby? Is it something you just love? Like where do you actually want to get to?
Yeah, so in terms of the fighting, I came back because I wanted to just get in there. But after getting in there and realizing I really enjoyed this, I really like this, of course I want to take it further. And it's very easy for me as the promoter to turn around and say, I'm going to give myself title fights. I'm going to boost myself up the ladder. I'm going to give myself the easy and the quick route to the top. But I want to do it the proper way. So I'm going to get regular fights in. Up in the opponent. The one that we're looking at in December is going to be very tough. Same with the 2 in February. And then hopefully in the future, we can start looking at more serious titles and really building the name of myself.
That's brilliant, man. How did you get started with boxing? Did you do a lot of amateur fights? How did you actually get involved in it?
So I'll take you right to the start. In 2018, my granddad passed away due to Parkinson's. Later in that year, my dad was just coming up to a big birthday, and in Coventry there was a local white collar charity show that was raising money for Parkinson's. And so my dad obviously wanted to raise money for this, raise awareness, but he also wanted to try boxing before he was too old. So there was a 10-week camp. It was with Godiva Battleground, so shout out to them. Shout out to Aaron and Toby, as without them, I would not be here. I done the 10-week training camp with him. I realised I really like this. I really enjoy this. And in the following year, I then signed up and had my first white collar fight. Since then, I've had 2 amateurs. And then I came back in last year in 2022 on my own show. And then obviously on Sunday, back again for my 5th fight.
So you've been pretty active from starting, really?
Yeah, I mean, it started off active. The first 3 fights were definitely active. But it was the gap between, I think, 2020 when COVID hit to 2022 when I had my 4th fight, and then over a year until I had my 5th fight. So I started off strong, I started off active, and then obviously COVID didn't help. I dropped off, but now I'm at the stage where I want to pick it back up and get back really, really active.
Is it hard to balance that and the promotion you're doing with Champions Boxing League?
It was. The time I fought in 2022, that was my second show. So not only was I learning a huge amount promotion-wise, I was also training myself. I was also promoting. I was also learning stuff about myself as a fighter, getting myself prepped, promoting myself. So it was difficult, definitely the last time, but it was my fifth fight. It was my fifth promotion. I get used to it. I'm learning obviously every single time, and progressively as I'm getting more experienced, both in fighting and promoting, it does get easier. You get used to the drama, both as a fighter and a promoter, and it does progressively get more and more natural.
What made you take the route of promoting fights and wanting to have your own promotion? Because obviously it's not something people really think about doing. It's very lucrative and it's good what you're doing, but normally people start doing it when they're 40, 50, 60. Obviously you're a young lad, so why did you actually go down that route?
So coming out of lockdown, me and my dad actually sat down and said, right, we want to bring boxing to Stratford-upon-Avon, which is where I am from. We wanted to replicate the same thing that me and Dad have done over in Coventry, but in Stratford. So, in short, that's how I got into the promotional side, the white collar side. How I've transitioned that into the paid ranks was just through contacts, networking, building a stronger brand, get involved with Leapfrog Fight TV. They've been a huge part. Getting involved with bigger name fighters like your Jay Malleys, like Jamal Kings, Hussam, ex BKB fighters, and then started building a brand around quite a well-known promotional. That's what I'm striving towards.
Yeah, no, definitely well known. Like it's been going from strength to strength. Like I first heard about it only like 6 months ago, maybe through Leapfrog, through all the work you've been doing with Leapfrog, and from then to now, it looks like it's gone up leaps and bounds. I'm scrolling through the phone. I'm just seeing Champions Boxing League everywhere.
Good.
But so this is something you run with your dad then?
So it was. So the white collar, the charity side, we done together. And then when I sort of reinvented it into Champions Boxing League and went into the paid ranks, that's when I took the realm, and I've been running the promotion on my own ever since for about a year now.
Do you work outside of doing the promotion and boxing as well? Do you have like a normal full-time job? And if so, what is it like balancing both of them?
Yeah, so I do a crazy lot of stuff, if I'm honest. Obviously got the promotion. I'm training myself when I'm getting fights. I've just joined Leapfrog Fight TV, so I'm now going most weekends out to shows that they've got, doing coverage for their shows. I also started in the summer after I finished my exams, I came out and I joined Hampton's estate agents, and I've been working full time on a summer placement with them. I've currently got a couple months off until my next role starts at the start of the year. So in this sort of 3-month period, I've been really sort of pushing promotion, fighting Leapfrog. But it does get a lot. And when everything is going at 100 miles an hour and everything's happening at once, there's a lot to do. And there's very, very little social time. There's very little downtime. I wake up, I'm thinking about Champions Boxing League, and I sleep, go to bed thinking about Leapfrog, and vice versa. And that's basically what is happening all day.
The boy's got his fingers in a lot of pies, man. He's out here. He's trying to make Moulin Rouge. No, that's brilliant, man. Someone with your drive and work ethic, though, as well. It's refreshing to see someone like yourself trying to get it all done. Is Champions Boxing League, is it unlicensed or is it pro boxing?
And this is the exact question that I want people to ask. It is actually unlicensed boxing. I am not old enough to get my British Boxing Board of Control promoter's license to become a pro promoter. However, I want everyone that's fighting on my shows, watching my shows, to think, is this a pro show or is this unlicensed?
Yeah, I thought it was pro. That's what I was asking you, the pro questions. No, that's brilliant, man. How old do you actually have to be to get your license?
So you have to be 18.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that.
So you are the money maker. You're the guy. You're the guy. So with yourself, I suppose you're 5-0 in unlicensed boxing as well. Does that
Right.
record carry over to professional if you turn professional? Like, how does the records work with that?
Right. So I'll have to double check for sure, but I believe the rules in amateur England boxing changed at the start of the summer this year. I believe white collar and a license counts towards your amateur record, and then obviously when you turn pro, it sort of revamps and it then goes back to 0-0. So you'll have two. If I do go pro, which I am planning on doing, I'll have two records. I'll have the amateur record or the unlicensed record, and then obviously the pro record.
Okay, wicked. So your unlicensed record is pretty much your amateurs. You're basically doing your
Yeah.
amateur boxing stuff
Right.
now.
Right.
What's it like dealing with the fighters?
On the promotion,
Yeah.
a mixed bag. You obviously get the fighters who are absolutely amazing to be around. They promote the show. They do all of the media stuff. They're really good at it. They put on a great fight. They sell a lot of tickets. They push the pay-per-view, and they're an absolute glory to have on. And those who know me and know the promotion will know exactly who I'm talking about. However, you also get those fighters who are a bit of the pain in the bum. They don't share the links. They don't have social media. I mean, who doesn't have social media nowadays? But they don't promote it to their best ability. They bring not everything to the fight. And sometimes it does get stressful, especially when you've got, quite big ticket sellers who are now pulling out and they're putting the show at jeopardy or the stream at jeopardy. So it's a mixed bag.
Where do you like to? Do you have fighters from all over? Or is it Kent ways, most of your fighters? Is it Coventry ways, Stratford upon Avon ways? Like where's majority of your fighters based?
So probably the majority of my home fighters are all based in Midlands. That's where I've done four out of my 5 shows. So I have the strongest sort of contact and networking base. Although over the past sort of 3-4 months, I have massively grown my contact list in Kent, in Surrey, in and around London, North London. So I definitely do want to be putting on more shows in the London area. But as I'm far of now, Midlands is definitely my flagship. However, I'm not just limited to Coventry and Kent. I've got guys that come from Leeds, guys that come from Bournemouth, guys that come from Bath and Bristol. I've got guys that we fly in from Tenerife.
Jesus. Flying them in from Tenerife and they're coming. That's a big promotion. Especially for unlicensed, that's pretty big.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm looking to. That's what I'm striving to do.
When you look at it, like you said, you wake up thinking about Champions Boxing League. You go to bed thinking about it. When you sit there and think about it, you're just proud of everything you're sort of achieving and the steps in the direction you're going.
Of course, you've got to be. I don't put in all of this work and all of this effort and all of this time to get nothing out of it. So when I'm seeing the successes on pay-per-views, on ticket sales, on fighters contact me saying, I really want to get on your show, people like yourselves, other sort of media outlets saying, we want to get you on, we love what you're doing. Of course, that makes me proud. It makes me smile, and it gives me that motivation to go, right, next show, I'm going to level it up.
And what's it been like working with Leapfrog and the streaming side of things? How much easier has it been for you doing that?
Yeah, 100%. Without Leapfrog, I'm going to say this. Without Leapfrog, I would still be doing crappy little shows in small hall venues with pretty much no media coverage, pretty average sort of media outlets with the posts, with the posters and the reels and the clips and stuff. Something which 99.9% of the current unlicensed promotions only do. And what really makes me stand out as a promotion is we do the online bit, we do the content bit. And working with Leapfrog, I've been able to put out really, really good content, from the interviews to the coaches' interviews to the corner cams, the clips, the highlight reels, the knockout reels. I mean, just 6 months ago on Instagram, I had about 300-400 followers on the Champions Boxing League page. And in a 90-day period, I racked up to over 3 million views
3
with 300
million.
followers.
Jesus.
And that was purely because of Leapfrog's content. So huge thank you and a huge shout out to Leapfrog. And I urge every single promotion, whether you're unlicensed boxing, pro boxing, amateur boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, literally anything, get in contact with me, get in contact with Leapfrog and level up your promotion.
What is it like for you then when you see all these promotions and promoters who don't use the streaming services, who don't when it's, because when you think of unlicensed boxing, you think underground,
Right.
gritty, grimy. You don't. That's why I instantly thought your promotion was pro, because I thought that doesn't look like an unlicensed boxing promotion. So why do you think other promoters don't go down that route, or do they just not know about it yet?
I think a lot of the unlicensed promoters are very, very old school. White collar, unlicensed, semi-pro, it's come on leaps and bounds in the past decade anyway. But still, like I said, 99.9% or the majority of all promotions, apart from a couple of, let's be honest, crappy posters on Facebook, that's about it. I think a lot of it's to do with time. To most people, to most promoters that do these types of shows, it's just it's a hobby basically.
Yeah.
Rather than something that they actually want to build a brand towards. Unlike with pro shows, they all have the visions of doing big things and getting big TV contracts, like your Matchrooms, like your Queensberries. A lot of the unlicensed side, they just do it as a hobby, and that's why they don't put as much effort in as to what I'd say I do.
Is that where you want to take it, to that sort of level?
Yeah. So as soon as I get to the age where I can get my both promoters and fighters license, I will. Or that's what I'll be looking to do. And I'll be looking to carry all of the sort of the positivity from the unlicensed scene into the pro scene. However, it's as I've said before, I want people to look at my show and not know whether it's unlicensed or pro. It not only does it make the promotion look good and help build the brand, but the fighters that are on it, who are used to fighting on these smaller promotions and getting absolutely no social media coverage, are now coming on mine and they're becoming their own little mini stars. It's something that drives them and motivates them, and that's something that's been absolutely clear as day to me, to the majority of my fighters coming on board.
Yeah, because you're not only just doing live streams, you've done press conferences, like weigh-in days, media days, all this sort of stuff. So it's not just like normally an unlicensed show is turn up on Saturday and we're fighting.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's at that stage already, and I think there's a lane for it in England. Like, you think of the likes of Boxer and Ben Shalom, that come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was just like snap your fingers, and it was sort of just there's a new kid on the block sort of thing. So there's definitely a lane for you to sort of take that up.
100%, 100%. And that is definitely something I want to be pushing towards. And I definitely think that's something that is going to push my brand out there. Again, I'm the newcomer on the block. Nobody expects me to do well. Nobody expects a kid who, apart from four previous fights, or now 5 previous fights, to be successful. My background isn't in boxing. My background's in football. So when people look at me on paper, they instantly write me off. They instantly think that show's going to fail. That promotion's not going to do well. So I want to be the new kid on the block, the newcomer, like the Ben Shaloms, who is just going to take unlicensed boxing and take boxing as a whole in the area to an absolute another level.
Take the bull by the horns, brother.
Exactly.
Obviously, when you were touching on promoters, you were saying they're all very old school, and obviously we know you're working with Boxed, who are trying to revolutionize the ticket sales. How has that actually helped your ticket sales, if it has, and what's that sort of transition been like?
Yeah, 100%. Boxed. Again, Boxed has really, really helped us. On the last show that we done on Sunday, we done, I think, 115, 116 tickets purely online. Without them sales, without Boxed, we wouldn't have got them sales. And with the money raised from them sales, we paid for the entire venue, we paid for the media days, we paid for the security team, we paid for the lighting and sounds, and we paid for the promote. We basically paid for a lot of the cost from it.
No, that's brilliant, man. At least it's something that is working, and hopefully more people sort of get on board with it. I know a lot of the Muay Thai shows are starting to use that service as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's been the biggest thing for you to grow Champions Boxing League? Like we touched on the reels and stuff like this in the impressions, or is it for you? Is growth putting better fights on, or is it having better content from the fights you have? What's been the best way to sort of grow?
So there's two really big ways, or the two main ways to grow in a promotion is the social side and the Instagrammable side of it, the reels, the fancy promo videos that we do, the media days, the photo shoots. But without a core product, without a good product, it's basically worthless. It's just TV at the end of the day. So I need a product that is going to be favourable to the fighters and favourable to the fans to then grow. So something which I'm 100% working towards, and you'll definitely see in the next promotion, is expanding the levels of matchmaking, bringing on bigger fighters, bringing in pro Muay Thai fighters, bringing in pro bare knuckle fighters, bringing guys who have got quite a big name for themselves in all of these different sort of scenarios and different disciplines to build that product that then we can turn around to Leapfrog and to the boxing hubs and guys like yourself, and then we can market everything about it.
So, but when you talk about bringing over big superstars from other disciplines, are we talking you're going to put Muay Thai fights on for them, or are they going to be doing boxing?
So I'm going to keep it all boxing. There's a couple of things which I do want to try out. Definitely something like a 4-ounce hybrid boxing. It's something which I think would be very interesting. It's something that I know a lot of the Muay Thai fighters are asking for in Muay Thai, and it bridges a nice gap between bare knuckle and boxing. And I definitely think it's going to attract guys like your pro Muay Thai and your pro BKB guys to put on the gloves, albeit 4 ounce.
Who's the biggest sort of superstar, the person at the minute? You don't have to answer this if you don't want, but one guy that's fighting on your promotion who's sort of got the biggest potential that you see to sort of like take it all the way.
That's an easy one. That's an easy question. It's obviously Jay Malley. I've lost count. He's 21 or 22-0 now. He literally every single promotion has been trying to find somebody to beat him, and they've been finding guys from all over, not just the UK, from the entirety of Europe, Hungary, Ireland, top to bottom of the UK. Literally, people are trying to find somebody that can beat this guy, and nobody can. So in my opinion, and I'm probably right in saying that everyone's opinion, is that Jay Malley is definitely the superstar of the promotion and will definitely become quite a big name in the pro ranks, or at least that's what I'm thinking.
That is mental, man. Is there any last bits you want to touch on, something that we've not covered that you want to say to anyone watching, or any shout outs, anything like that?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to everyone that's been a part. Shout out to obviously yourself. Thank you for having me on.
No, it's been
shout
brilliant.
out to Leapfrog for being involved. As I said, they've been probably the main part in growing the promotion. Shout out to Box, who have definitely increased ticket sales through online ticket sales. Shout out to all of the media pages that are sharing the posts, that are collaborating on the posts. And of course, shout out to my family as the behind the scenes action, especially on fight day, when all of my family are dragging in a 3-ton ring, setting it up so that in 6-7 hours time, we can put on an amazing card. So a huge shout out to them.
That's brilliant. Charlie, thank you for coming on. You're always welcome on the show. If there's anything you need to promote, anything like that, and you see we've got a live show going on, even we know you're not too far away, so even if you want to come down and do an in-face podcast, the invitation is there.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you for coming on. People, go follow him, and thank you, Charlie.
Thank you for having me on, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye.
What a guy. What a guy. The youngest in charge. I did not know that boxing promotion was unlicensed. I thought that was a pro promotion. People, if you've not seen it, head over to Champions Boxing League. You can either find them through Leapfrog Fight TV, The MMA hub share a lot of their stuff. But that promotion to me is incredible. We got a young Ben Shalom on our hands. I kind of tucked the boy up a little bit. With his age and stuff like that. Hopefully, no, I'm not trying to push him back into it, but he goes, "Don't mention the age," and I sort of wiped the question out where he had to answer. What a guy, man! And he got a fantastic stoppage the other day, left body shot. Yeah, it's mental now. Yeah, it makes more sense now that it is unlicensed with what sort of happens on it, because it gave me like a influencer vibe, a little bit of an influencer vibe on there. So that does definitely make sense. But yeah, that's a good guy, man. Obviously, the next segment we got coming on the show before we head into the Sam Creasey pod, we're going to be talking about the England rugby. England, we sat here before, we talked about Fiji. We overcoming England. Can they batten down the hatches? Can they bash England up? And they couldn't get the job done. But England narrowly lose to South Africa. Mike's, what's your thoughts and opinions on it? And where did it go wrong? And did England overexceed? So if I would have asked you before the World Cup and say England get to the semi-finals, would you have taken that? And did you think they would even get that far?
Yeah, I would have taken that. I feel like we should have won the game. We led for, I think it was like 70 minutes. And the last 3 minutes we weren't. So it was tough watching, man. It was very tough watching. But yeah, they overexceeded my expectations. I didn't think they'd get there. And even if they did, I thought they would lose comfortably to South Africa. But yeah.
Yeah, because when we spoke before about it, I think I was saying, like, because I was under the impression England were done. Like, they're scrubs, they're done. They're not kind of coming back, because that's what the whole narrative was for England rugby. So did they actually play well? Was it a good tournament? Did they not really face any? Well, I suppose they lose by 1 point against South Africa. I can't say they've not faced no one.
South Africa are current world champions, so that's a hard game. Fiji were a hard game as well, man. They're a good team. I think South Africa were the hardest people they played, and we lost to them. So,
what? Like I think in the photo that was up, is his name Joe Marler?
Joe Marler.
Joe Marler. Obviously, he says we blew it. And I've been hearing about retirement talk apparently from him. So I don't know what you know about that. If you know anything about that.
So Joe Marler, Dan Cole. There's going to be a lot of them. Tuolangi, maybe Owen Farrell. A lot of them that'll be their this Friday is going to be their last international game for, maybe not Owen Farrell, but definitely Joe Marler, Dan Cole, Ben Youngs. Maybe it might be their last ever England game, and that's like end of the generation, to be fair.
So what do you have high hopes for England's next generation of rising talent coming through?
Depends. I think the coaching is going to play a big difference in it. I feel like Marcus Smith, Henry Arundel, they're both like very good players. Freddie Stewart, we've all got good young players, but I don't think we're going to be able to compete with the likes of Ireland and stuff. But we'll see, because Ireland have also lost Johnny Sexton, their most experienced player. So it's going to be interesting for England.
Who do you reckon takes it out of New Zealand and South Africa?
New Zealand and South Africa, I think either New Zealand are going to win quite comfortably, or South Africa, it's going to be a tight game and South Africa nick it at the end like they did against us. Just the championship, like minutes, the last 10 minutes. I think we'll lose. They'll lose.
What teams sort of shocked you the most, like to either go out or to do well? Like Ireland were one of the favourites to get there. I know France were one of the favourites to get there. So who was like the biggest shock?
Biggest shock for me, I think Wales. For me, I thought Wales normally always get to the quarters or the semi-finals. Well, they were in the quarters, but they lost to Argentina, and I think they should be beating Argentina, even though they're a good team. I genuinely do think Wales should have gone a little bit further, maybe faced New Zealand in the semis. But yeah, Fiji done well as well. I think Fiji surprised people. I knew they thought they were good, but better than what they were. I think they're going to be a surprise for
Argentina?
The next World Cup. Argentina, yeah, they've done well. Yeah, they've been to the semi-finals. Not last World Cup, the World Cup before. So they've got there,
Oh, so they're not a bad team.
Yeah, they're
actually
not a bad team. Yeah, no, I'd say they're like, I don't know, they haven't really got an opportunity of winning it at Argentina, but they would like always got a chance of beating somebody on their day.
Who was England's sort of like best player? Should I say like who? Because I thought Tuolangi was done. I didn't even know he was still playing, and I seen him get the try against flipping Fiji.
No, Tuolangi was good. I think our best player this World Cup, I think Owen Farrell, man, he does everything. He kicks, he leads by example. Who else? I really like Maro Itoje. He's been playing really well again. Courtney Laws, but none of our players were going into that World Cup with a lot of form, so it was tough. It was tough. But I Marcus Smith as well. He's really good. But so the issue England had at this World Cup was they have 3 players that are all starters in like the big teams in the league for their club, but they all play the same position. And obviously Owen Farrell beats George Ford and Marcus Smith to that position every day of the week. So yeah, it's just a bit of a difficult one. I don't think Steve Borthwick's the man for the job, as in, i.e., the manager coach. So yeah, I don't know how we're gonna...
And he broke the record, no? Johnny Wilkinson's record, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Was it just points scored in general, or just kicking points?
Points scored in general. Always the kicker always scores the most points because they kind of get some tries and they score 10, 12 points a game. So
it's wicked, man. We got a big friend of the pod, one of the big dogs looking to chase UFC stardom. Sam Creasey. His episode will be going live in 5 minutes. Just make sure my mic's turned on. I don't want to get caught slipping like that, boy. Big friend of the pod. We caught up with him on Wednesday. He talked us through his Cage Warriors fight week, the expectations he's got for traveling back over to Rome, issues he sort of had in camp, and niggling injuries. And he actually gave his opinion on the Hamzat Chimaev fight, the Volkanovski fight, and if he actually thinks he should be in the UFC. He sort of opened up a little bit more. We know him as the stoic, and he was very stoic about the situation, but he sort of dug a little bit deeper as to why maybe he hasn't got into the UFC yet, or if that opportunity is coming. Because this is his second fight in Rome. He went over and fought Lopoli the other day. He's fighting... the guy had a mad name I couldn't even pronounce the other day. I could not even pronounce it. But there's a few good Cage Warriors cards coming up, and that's something I might have to... Normally we think of MMA and we just think of the UFC. But Cage Warriors is somewhere I'm going to have to invest a little bit of time into, man, because they've got some big cards coming up. They've got a card coming up in San Diego. So Cage Warriors is like the European hub of mixed martial arts. It's like the pinnacle of mixed martial arts in Europe. And they're doing cards in San Diego now. So we're talking about a big promotion. They've got a card in Newcastle coming up. I feel like they've got a card in Ireland coming up, or they've just had a card in Ireland where I think Conor McGregor was tweeting about it because one of these Irish guys got a crazy knockout on there. So he could be getting a chance in the UFC. So yeah, hopefully Sam Creasey goes out there, gets the job done, and hopefully he does get one of these opportunities to go into the UFC. I actually did ask him, would you take an opportunity if they done the Ultimate Fighter? Like, would you jump on that? Would that be something you'd be interested in? He said he'd snap it up with 2 hands if that opportunity come up. So hopefully he can get it done. He talked about Ibra and coaching him and what it was like going over to Spain in the heat of camp. So without further ado, Sam Creasey joins us on the pod. Hello, Samurai. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you too?
Yeah, good, man. Good. It's good to have you back on.
No problem.
For people at home watching who don't know who you are, which they should know who you are, is Sam Creasey. You've got an upcoming fight this week in Rome. Right. How's camp been, and have you made any adjustments from your last camp to this camp? I know you actually had an injury in your last fight leading up to it. So what's training camp been like this time?
Somewhat the same, if you like. I've got a special injury that I shall keep hidden. That has made training somewhat difficult at times, but we got the work done, which is exactly what we need to do every camp. I don't really change very many things, fight to fight, really. I just tick off my boxes. So I make sure I'm wrestling, I make sure I'm grappling, make sure I'm striking, putting it all together in my sparring sessions, and then trying to get a little extra work with some pad men occasionally. Um, I'll have a chat with coaches. I won't ask them specifically what to do with this guy, but just what can I do to improve myself, and they'll give me some cues, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, camp has been relatively comfortable, with a couple of highs and lows.
Do you ever have a smooth camp though? Like, has there ever been a time where you're fighting and everything's gone perfect according to plan?
No, no. I don't think. I mean, it happened even less as an amateur because I was training so much. I didn't really have any downtime. It was, Monday to Friday, solidly in the gym, and then Saturday, if I got a fight coming up, I'm going to be fighting. No kind of like time off particularly, especially in my early fights and that. And so you get a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there, some little niggles here and there, and they add up eventually. But it's part and parcel of the game. You know, I would probably never have had a fight if I didn't go in.
Yeah.
100%.
Obviously you're fighting Pagliariccio.
Who knows, man?
Tanio. I'll call him by his first name. I should have gone first name. Tanio.
That's it.
Yeah, you're fighting.
That's all I've been doing.
You're fighting Tanio. Do you know much about him? Do you really look too much into your opponents, or do you just sort of focus on yourself when you're going there?
I've always generally focused on myself. Back in the day, starting out my pro career, I probably did focus on other opponents maybe a little too much, and spent camps worrying about the things they're going to do rather than things that I'm going to do. He's good. He's well-rounded. And I know he trains. I know he's Italian. His camp is in Italy, but I know he goes to SBG quite a lot. So he'll have some good cues from the coaches over there. They'll be telling him how to negate my style and what advantages he's got, what disadvantages I've got, etc. But yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight on paper. He's no slouch. He likes the guillotine as well, and he's nice and long, similar range to me. I think he's a little bit more kick heavy, and I'm perhaps a little bit more favouring the hands. But it'll be interesting.
Do you like traveling over to different countries to fight? Like, 'cause your last fight was in Rome. This fight's in Rome. It looks like you're one of the main faces on the Rome bill now.
Maybe I can become that way, and they can fly me out a little bit more often. But, it has just happened that these two fights have ended up, two young, hungry Italians who want to take my scalp, and that's just the way it's ended up this year. There are other fights I'd possibly like as well, but I'm not really too fussed where I fight now. I mean, it was nice fighting in London a lot. Feels like home almost. But I've always liked going into the enemy's backyard, if you like, and going and taking it to them.
Does it feel a bit nostalgic when you're in Rome? It's like that's where the gladiators would have been. That's where it all would have been going on back in the day. And you are the modern day gladiators. Back in them times, you would have been leading an army into battle.
Yeah. I mean, I dream of fighting in the Colosseum or something similar one day. I couldn't even imagine how that would feel, but that it does feel almost like this is the battleground, and we're going to war sort of thing.
And it's picking up in Italy as well, MMA. It feels like it's getting really big over there. There's a lot of Italian fighters now in the UFC as well, so it feels like it's quite a big breeding ground for mixed martial arts.
Yeah, they've got quite a few gyms popping up here and there over Italy now, and the level's good. Then there's no slouches there. You've seen them come over into Cage Warriors and build their own reputations and that. And the scene is looking really good, really strong.
So with a win this weekend, hopefully, if everything goes your way, would you be looking to get the Saj fight back? Is that a fight you'd want coming up in future? Are you looking to or is it just whoever has the title? That's sort of where you want to get to.
Quite honestly, I haven't even looked that far ahead, to be honest. I'm going to take this one fight at a time, see where I'm at after this fight. I mean, I'm always, unfortunately, kind of at the top end of the division, so I'm always in the question about a title shot, if you like. But it's something I'm not really too fussed about at the moment. I'm just gonna, I've got Tanio on Saturday night. We're gonna have a tear up. We're gonna see how that goes, and then then I'll go back to the table. See what's ahead of me.
See, like where you're at in your career, do you feel like there's a bit of a target on your back? Obviously, you've held the championships. You're one of the older fighters in the division, more experienced. So the young guys are sort of like, if they take you out, they could be getting a title shot next. Do you feel does pressure come with that?
Yes and no. I've been at the top for a long time. I should be in the UFC if really with my skill level and that, but I've made mistakes on the way, and they've cost me. But I know I've got a target on my back. I should always have a target on my back. If I don't, then I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm good, and my level is at a world class level, and these guys should want to fight me. Well, they should also want to fight the champion as well. And I feel like I'm a difficult proposition for a lot of guys to deal with, because I don't really have a weakness apart from perhaps my complacency, if you like. As a fight, I'm difficult to deal with. Like I'm well rounded, and that's not something where you can go, okay, we're going to pick them apart like this, perhaps. So yeah, I'm used to the target on my back, and it's been there for a long time now.
Do you have a part of your game that you like the most? Like, is it your wrestling? Is it your BJJ, striking? Like, what's the part of your game that you sort of rely on the most?
I wouldn't say anything really. My versatility is probably like the strongest point that I have. I'm average at everything. But when I put it all together, I'm very good at putting it together, or I believe I'm better than anybody else when I can put it all together. I just think that becomes a problem for a lot of guys, because they maybe have one area where they're really excelling, and if they can't, dominate me in that place straight away, then they're a bit stuck.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, what does your schedule look like this week? You're going to be traveling over to Rome. Give me like a little rundown, or the people at home watching. Like, what's the sort of Cage Warriors style?
So they would have flown me out earlier, but it's my daughter's birthday party on Saturday night whilst I'm fighting. So I said, fly me out as late as possible. I'm going to try and spend as much of this week with her as possible.
Yeah.
And then get me back as quick as you can on Sunday morning.
Try and catch any of the parties, any of the party left.
Well, what we'll probably do is we go and fight, and that we get the coach back to the hotel, pack up our stuff, and then go down, see everybody else. They can all party through the night and that, and we'll just hop on a plane the next morning. Then we got to be there at 5 a.m. anyway. So
yeah, get out there.
Yeah.
Is
But
there any
fun for me? I'm not going to do much training. I'll move around a little bit, just monitor my weight, and then get ready for the weight cut.
Yeah, is it a brutal weight cut for you still? Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think you'd want to go into the weight above just so you don't have to drain yourself anymore, or are you kind of sitting around that weight anyway?
I'm in and around a funny spot. My weight doesn't really change most of the year round. My body shape might. I might carry more fat. I might carry less fat. But whilst I'm in like the middle of a camp, I'm always looking like if I make bantamweight, I've got like 2-3 kilos to cut, and when you get squished by a big bantamweight, that's a whole different feeling. So I feel this is my spot still. That may change perhaps towards the latter end of my career, but I'm happy, and I'm fairly comfortable with this cut anyway. So it is never easy, but it's just part of the process.
How's mental preparation for you? Like we see Volk over the weekend. He sort of started talking about his mental well-being when he doesn't have a fight. Someone else mentioned it not that long ago as well. So for you, what's it like mentality-wise with training and being in camp?
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand what he's saying. Like when you put yourself into this, it's part of your routine, if you like, that you have a fight. Okay, what's next? That's what you're looking for. Your next thing, your next goal, your next target, if you like. So you spend, I don't know, however long he spends in camp, your 12 weeks or that, and then you're looking, what's my next aim, or what's my next goal that I need to achieve here. I think it's harder for him being like he's been at the top and dominating everybody at featherweight. That challenges are not that many for him. So when an opportunity comes for the lightweight title, of course he's going to grasp it with both hands, because he's probably feeling a little bit lost at times. And I feel that myself, like when I'm not in a camp. When I was injured earlier this year, I was just a bit stuck with, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, I can help other people, and I enjoy that as well. But it's something that, as a fighter, I think you've got to be aware of, as you're getting towards like what's going to happen after your career. What are you going to do afterwards? Because there is always going to be that question of like, okay, what's my next target?
So do you ever think about that and try to plan it out now? Like sort of, I know you do a lot of coaching with other fighters, you do classes. So is that the route you think you will end up taking when you're out? Like, are you going to be one of them people that have to have still a part of mixed martial arts?
No, I just lie to myself. No. Yeah, I'm gonna be. I'll be training until the day I die, I would imagine. Getting me out of a competition or that competitive mindset is going to be difficult, and it will come from family, from friends, from loved ones who will tell me when it's time to step away. But the problem is, I'm still good at the minute, and I'm still like dealing with a lot of the guys who are really top level sparring partners and that, and that's a good thing for me. But I just need to be aware when it's time to say bye bye. I'm gonna have to float into a different avenue and put my energy into that.
Do you think you will know? Like as a martial artist, do you think you will know, or do you think or someone will tell you?
You'll know. You might lie to yourself a lot though, and you might talk yourself out of it a lot. If your time's up, it is up. You kind of know it is, or you don't. And maybe you need somebody else to give you that little shove in that direction, because your brain is always going to be telling you, "Go on, just one more, just one more." And yeah, you've seen fighters come back, and when a pay packet is really good and get smushed, and it's not nice to see.
It's because you got like a double-ended sword as well, because then you see like a guy like Glover who goes and wins a world title at 40, 41, where some people might have just packed it in at 37 and thought, I might not ever get to reach my goal, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's it.
Yeah, no, go ahead, mate.
No, that's it. That's it. I think like people progress at different rates and that, and people's also, it's how much do you love it? How much is it still part of you as well? Because if you're just in it to be in it because you don't know what else to do, you ain't going to survive for too long, and things are going to go pear-shaped pretty quick. But if your heart is still in it, if you're still looking after your body, you're still looking after your brain and that, and you're keeping current with the new wave who are coming through, and you're training these new guys in that, you'll know when it's time to take a step back, when they'll go flying past you.
Yeah. And you got a lot to look forward to anyway, because your brother's now fighting with Cage Warriors. He's signed to Cage Warriors. He's got a fight coming up next month.
Yeah.
How has his preparation been? How excited are you to sort of like see his journey grow?
Oh yeah, I'm always excited to see my brother fight, to be quite honest. Like I've been telling people about him for years, that most of the UK scene, just, they don't know yet. They don't know how good he is.
Yeah.
Wherever he's been, wherever he's been, people come up to me afterwards and they're like, "Fucking hell, your brother's sick. He hits so hard." All of this stuff. I'm like, yep. I've been having to be dealing with that for years, mate. I'm so glad you stepped into the fore to take a couple of shots as well. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing him take the title and move on to the UFC as well.
Is he a featherweight as well?
Oh, yeah, flyweight.
He's a flyweight.
Oh, yeah. So same weight as me.
So you got a sparring partner there. He's got a sparring partner there. For like, it's just kind of perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We're very lucky in that sense, and we can go like very, very high intensity without letting ego get involved. Really, that's we're way past that point, and it just helps us to push each other to be better. You know, like he needs a really hard wrestling session, and I don't want to give it to him, but I'm gonna give it to him way harder than anybody else can, because I'm gonna push him to the places that I know he needs to get to make sure he's ready for a fight.
Yeah. And obviously touching on the UFC as well. Obviously, hopefully he gets there. Is that somewhere, I know it's somewhere you still want to be and you want to get to?
Yeah.
Is it still a frustrating situation? I know you put your name forward for a late replacement in France as well, which I was hoping you got as well. But is it like, what do you think you're going to have to do to get there, or do it is what it is at this point?
I mean, it is what it is anyway. I should have been there a long time ago, really. But you know, those are my own mistakes. It'll be whatever it's going to be. That my goals don't change. That's where I want to be. You know, I keep on fighting. I keep on taking out these people in front of me, and you know, if I'm meant to be there, that's where I'll be.
Yeah. Hopefully, would you entertain anything like if they done a flyweight sort of when you go into the house and stuff like that, Ultimate Fighter?
Tough. Yeah.
Would you entertain something like that?
Yeah. Of course. It's another opportunity to get my foot in the door. But that's where my aspirations lie. I want to be in the UFC, and I want to fight the best guys in the world. I am capable. I've just got to get myself in there. Yeah,
because when I was looking at Tapology, and you're ranked 61 in the world, and the person who's ranked 59 in the world is in the UFC. So it's sort of like what we got to do here? What we got to do here to get the boy Sam Creasey in there? Everyone go out there and tweet Dana White right now.
That's it.
Have you had any close encounters to getting in? Like, has there been conversations with any of the guys there? Like, or is it just been nothing?
I spoke to like a scout previously, but I know they've been interested from some of my performances. The problem is, I haven't then lived up to expectation on my next performance, or when I've been close, I've let a chance disappear, and you know that can only be put upon myself. So those decisions that I've made in the moment have been what cost me, and I know I should be there, and I would be winning if I was in the UFC right now.
Yeah, and that's why we love you here at the pod, and that's why the people love you, because everything with you is just all self accountability. It's me, sort of nothing. You are the definition of a samurai.
Well, I do think you just got to own it. You got to own it. Anything, whether you lose at something or you fail at something, you have to go out and own it straight away. That's no negative on you. That's taking ownership of that so that you can be better, so that you can go and improve. And as a human, as a martial artist, as a fighter, as an athlete, I need to own this, not hide from this.
And talking on your coaching as well. Obviously, you went over to Madrid with Ibra and you coached him. We had him on last a couple of weeks ago. What was that experience like for him fighting in Madrid?
Yeah, it was cool. A little different. I didn't speak any other language. I was very loud though in the corner. Probably made a little bit too much noise, perhaps. Got dragged back down by the runners quite a few times. But it was an experience. I think it was in a bullfighting ring as well. And
yeah, it looked really professional. That's what I was saying to you. It looked like a really big event for how small the sort of company is.
Yeah. It was really big. There were a lot of people there, big crowd, lots of production went in behind it, and I'm always happy to go and corner Ibra. I see how much work he puts in all around the world, wherever he is.
Yeah,
yeah, the man's a machine, and I know I see how much he wants it, and I'm there to give him my time. But yeah, that was an experience in itself. In the middle of camp wasn't ideal, so I got my flights like again, same thing, like get me out there, get me back straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an experience.
What was his performance like? I know it was a close fight, and a lot of people thought he actually won the fight. So, what was your perspective on it?
I thought we'd won. I was ready with my phone out, ready to catch him winning. The crowd thought that he'd won. His opponent, I'm pretty sure, thought he'd won. Things that went well in the fight were his low kicks, his anti-wrestling, his knees in the clinch, and I was pretty confident. Apart from about a minute of the second round, I thought he'd won that fight. He's got things to work on, obviously, as always, but I was very confident he'd won. But I said to him, like, it matters not really as an amateur. All it is experience and improvement on performances each time. So whether you win or lose, I don't really care, as long as you're improving in some aspect in your performance. And he has. He looked 10 times better than the last guy who entered the cage. And he'll take it on, and I expect him to come out and get another victory.
Yeah, and I know he put a lot of work in Egypt into his wrestling, his takedown defense, because he knew that was a hole in his game for them bigger boys that didn't want to strike with him. So did you see a big difference in that aspect of his fighting?
I did. I've noticed it in the gym as well. There was some really, really good moments. There's some little things he needs to work on again, which the wrestlers in Egypt have been fantastic at improving his wrestling. His cage wrestling is that slightly different nuance that you can't get squared off, you can't get pinned against the cage for too long. That was the problem, not this last fight, the one before, which he lost by decision, but he got pinned against the cage for great periods of that fight. This fight, he got pinned against the cage once, and that was where the takedown came from. So it's something we're going to work on, something he's not going to get caught in that spot again. And I expect him not to be in that position in his next fight.
Yeah. No, hopefully he goes on to do amazing things. Did you actually catch the UFC at the weekend?
I caught a little bit of it. I didn't catch all of the fights in that, but yeah, I saw bits of it.
Did you see any of the main two?
Yeah.
What did you think of Hamzat's performance versus Usman?
It was good. I don't think you can ask for it any more from him. I mean, Usman came in last minute, but Usman is a completely different fighter to Paulo Costa as well. So for Hamzat, again, it's a change of opponent at the last minute. Perhaps it's a little bit of a harder contest, but he did what he needed to do. I was impressed. Be more impressed if he beats Usman with a full camp, but he keeps on beating these guys put in front of him.
Yeah, because he's getting quite a lot of, maybe not him personally, but there's a lot of people moaning about if he's still a hype train, if he's like, every time he sort of wins, everyone's still got them questions about him, whether it be his gas tank, his striking's not that good. But for me, when I see him go and take Usman down in the first round and control him for the whole first round, I'm like, that's all you need to see. No one does that to Usman. No one does that to Usman.
That's it. No, 100%. And like the thing is, it's because they want to see him as a killer, right? They want to see this ferocious animal. Okay, fighting when you get to the top level and you're fighting a former champion who's only been fighting championship fights for the last however many years, you probably ain't gonna get the chance to knock him out like that. And if you do, he just as well knock you out. You know, I mean, Hamzat's his wrestling, his grappling, his strength. That is where his strengths lie. That is why he's an animal. And at times, if you give a man like that space on the ground, he's up. Yeah. So he's got to stay tight. And it can be a little bit boring at times, but that is the game that we're in.
Yeah, but for someone like yourself and for like maybe hardcore mixed martial arts fans, they will like that sort of stuff. Yeah. Like for me, I was just like, wow, he's taken Usman down and controlled him. Like, yeah, to people that's boring. I'm like, that's obviously doing the small couple BJJ sessions I've done in that, you know, when someone has you down, it's hard to even move, let alone having Usman down, someone who's notorious at wrestling everyone and being one of the best wrestlers.
That's it. That's it. I mean, that's the fans' perspective. And there are a lot of people who are on the hype train and they want to see him knock everybody out. They want to see him sub everybody, you know, very quickly. That doesn't happen very often as you get towards the top end. You know, those gaps are not there anymore.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the spaces where you get that choke, the spaces where you get that finish or you get that punch are gone. You know, so it's not what everybody wants it to be.
And then what did you feel sorry for Volk at all?
I did. Like, I think that's a much better fight for him on a full camp. Obviously, he can give Islam more problems, but you just have to take your hat off to Islam. That was a lovely shot. And Mighty Mouse called it actually earlier in the week on his breakdown. He's saying he's going to the body. He's going to the body with that midsection every time. And then if you look at the last fight, he went to the body so much with that left mid. All Mighty Mouse was saying was he just had to pop it up the top and then bam, nowhere he's out cold.
And he done it straight away in the first
That's
round. Because a lot of people were kept, a lot of the focus before was on Volkanovski, and it was like, well, if Volk now, he could dominate him now because he done so well the last time, but they were forgetting that Islam himself is going to make adjustments for the next fight as well.
That's it.
But yeah, that was a brilliant fight. I don't know. I think the card got a lot more slack than it deserved, I think.
Yeah. It did. I thought it was a good card. I was impressed with a lot of fights in there. And you know, that kind of is what it is. Those fights were still really exciting, and those were top level fights. Just, you know, I would have maybe liked to see Paulo Costa fight Hamzat still, because I think like physically they match up very very well. Whereas you know, Usman's coming in late notice. I don't know how heavy he is, but he looked a fair bit smaller than Hamzat. And Volk, you know, I don't want to see him fight Islam again. I'd rather see Islam fight an actual lightweight again now. And I don't know who else is in the mix next, but you know, there should be plenty of people out there.
Yeah, 100%. Sam, is there any last points we've not touched on? Anything you want to let the world know? For anyone who hasn't seen you fight, what can they expect to see from you?
Who knows, to be quite honest? Who knows what is going to happen in there? I never know myself. What I will try to do is behave myself and be the most professional I can. Not enjoy the fight and fight just to win.
That's brilliant. And have you actually got your eyes on this San Diego card in December?
Oh, I'd love to.
Like, I was surprised when I see it on their thing. I was like, San Diego, the Cage Warriors are going global.
Yeah. Oh no, mate. I'd love to get myself a nice little tan before Christmas and there.
No, but thank you for doing this. Obviously, we appreciate your time, and we know you're super busy. You have everything going on this week, so thank you for coming on and doing this with me.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Good luck this weekend, and I'll leave all your stuff, links, and everything down below when the video transition us in. We're back in. Did you enjoy the Sam Creasey interview? Because I did. Me listening to that back, the boy wants the white lights on. We got Baldy with us for the second hour for when we bring Joe Laws in. What you need to do is we just connected him so he can get some audio so he can hear what I'm hearing, so he can hear Joe Laws when he comes on the Benwell Bomber talk about his sensational win. He does have the link. Yeah. No, come off this because he has the link. This guy doesn't know how to use a computer.
How does he have the link?
Is it these?
No, wasn't it? Come on.
Just fucking.
It's on, no?
Yeah, you need to connect the headphones. But yeah, people, what do you think of the Sam Creasey interview? Does he get the job done this week?
Oh, yeah, it's done.
We've got Joe Laws coming on.
Sorry, people, man. Malfunction. Fijian slow.
That's it.
I would that beard coming through.
Yeah, don't have to add him into the scene. Yeah. So you should be able to, when Lawsy comes in, you should be able to hear. Does this light look better, people? Rain was moaning, saying, shift to your left just a tiny bit. Just so we can make it look a bit
The light's
even.
much
Yeah.
better.
Do you prefer the light, people? I don't know. We do look good. We do look good right now. This looks like proper 1080p shit.
Did you say the link sent?
It's a couple hunched up.
No, the
bros.
link was sent. His one was.
Are you sure? Because I never sent it.
Yeah, it's here. To Rain.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that was Lawsy's one. Sorry, that I thought that was. Yeah, we got the big dog Joe Laws coming in. Hey, lad. Hey, lad. Yeah. What did you think of the influence boxing?
Shit. Well, them two main ones are disappointing.
Yeah, KSI and Logan.
KSI and Logan, shit. Logan Paul, you're dead, mate. You get all that smack talks about your missus and you come in a ring and you can't do now.
Can't do niche.
Sausage.
You got to be looking for the stoppage.
Chip wants sausage. You're a sausage. Just pure sausage. KSI, what? It's not even boxing. It's just wild man swinging. I give it to him for wild man swinging, but it's going to be hard for any boxer to fight him because the fight's not coming to him. It's just like, he's like...
Yeah.
But then Tommy Fury should have done a better job.
But you said...
We say this, but you know how hard it is to fight these little freaks.
You saw the Isaac Chamberlain fight, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw the Isaac Chamberlain fight.
Paul, the people, for anyone watching, Isaac Chamberlain become the Commonwealth and the British champion over the weekend. One up, Mike's one up.
That was he outboxed that geezer, man.
He become the Commonwealth and British champion over the weekend. What was? I didn't watch the fight, but I know you watched the fight.
Deserved it. Outboxed him 12. Was it 11 rounds? Outboxed him all 11. Was it 12 rounds?
12, I think.
12 rounds. Yeah. Outboxed him every single round. Won every single round. Clean. Pressure. Jab. The whole way through. I was sort of thinking about to the other guy. I can't remember the other guy's name. I was thinking, when's this guy going to step it up? You're going to like come in? You're going to do something? Didn't do nothing. He's waiting. I think he had like heavy punches and he's waiting and didn't come through.
They had bad blood as well leading up to that fight.
Yeah. Both from South, innit?
Yeah. What, is that why they were beefing?
Apparently.
Gang shit.
That's what Beard was telling me.
Well, we got a video of who actually wants him next as well and who he's meant to be fighting next. Vidal Riley said this in the post-fight press, not the post-fight press, but he was doing the,
I'm on a mission. I'm English champion. I want to climb, and I think it'll be a big fight. We know the following I have. We know how we can create things. Obviously, he needs to rest. The champ wants to rest, and he deserves it. But I want to be in there next.
I never really like it when they do that. I never really like it when they
that?
Yeah.
You heard all of that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, you didn't hear nothing? Well, basically, Vidal Riley was saying he wants next. He wants it next. He needs to rest. He's the champ
Vidal Riley
now.
was the one boxing on these TikTok events?
No. Vidal Riley trained KSI for the influencer
Oh
boxing.
yeah, that's it. Sorry,
And
man.
everyone
I got
thought
so
he was an
confused.
influencer boxer. No.
Yeah. But no, he was a boxer. Yeah.
But Vidal Riley wants Isaac Chamberlain next. I actually don't think that's a really. I think Isaac Chamberlain, if you've just won the British, unless you want to defend the British and try win it outright, like what Denzel Bentley's doing, then I don't really see there being a point of him trying to do that, because that's kind of like a backward step. Vidal Riley's young, hungry. For Isaac Chamberlain, at the age he's at, he probably needs to go up one more level, like pushing back towards the Okoli fight. Billum Smith's the champion. Pushing more towards them, not kind of moving backwards and fighting a Vidal Riley.
Yeah. He's on the trajectory up. Yeah, like I said, he boxed superb, man. Like I said, I was waiting for the other guy to like pick it up in the 5th and the 6th, but he just didn't have a chance, man. He kept smothering him as well, because he wanted to load up on the big heavy bangs. Isaac come in, smother him, hit him with the jabs, hit him naughty.
Did you watch?
Neat.
Do you watch any of the other fights? You watched the Sam Gilly fight?
Yeah, wow.
What was it? What was that like?
Oh, dude, that was a war, man.
Was it?
Yeah, that was a war. But Gilly, the first couple rounds, Gilly had it, and then that other guy, who's the other guy he fought? Green?
I don't know what his name was. I just know Sam Gilly was fighting.
Yeah, I think it was Green. Then he just started picking it up, man. They were going at war, but yeah, I think Gilly done enough to just to get the win.
Mike, do we sound
it was a war though?
Echoey in the actual stream? No, we sound all right. Now you would notice it anyway because you noticed it before. People, comment down below. Do we sound echoey or anything? Is there anything going wrong? Can you see us properly? Comment down below. Yeah, Sam.
Rate the bald head, man.
Yeah, what do you rate for the bald head?
People saying I'm looking like
the Magomedov.
Nah,
Khabib's little brother. Got Khabib's little brother next to me. Robert Whittaker. I can see it. You are looking like Robert Whittaker a little bit.
A bit bolo as well.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see it. I can't wait for Rob Whittaker to come back, man. Duplessis. We'll touch a little bit on the UFC, innit? We won't go into the card, but what do you think Duplessis should be getting the next title fight?
I think Duplessis. I think he could be I think he's gonna smash people. You don't reckon? He's got hands. He's good at wrestling.
I think he's good.
I think he's good, man. I think we he made Whittaker. He punched Whittaker up.
Yeah, but
then Whittaker is
good. He might have just had I think he didn't. Maybe Duplessis just.
Well, you can't say he didn't expect it.
Yeah,
you
true.
know what you're expecting, right? This is the UFC. It's like Volk. Come in, headshot, blow.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for Volk, if I'm honest. We'll get into the UFC talk though later. Did you watch any of the other fights on that Isaac Chamberlain card? Did you watch the girls? Caris, Artinstall.
We were watching UFC. Yeah.
What about the prelims for the UFC or the main card? Was it a good card?
The only fight that didn't make sense to me was that Johnny Walker, man. I don't know what happened there. He had like an eye poke, and then the doctor was like,
I thought it was a knee to the head.
Was it?
I think it was a knee to the head.
Was it a knee to the head?
Yeah.
So why did the doctor call it?
Well, Diaz explained it.
So basically, the doctor asked him, like, you got to give him a couple minutes to settle down and that. And the doctor asked him, like, where are you? All of this. And he goes, obviously, Johnny Walker's Brazilian, isn't it? So he goes, where are you? And Johnny Walker goes, I'm in the desert. Because he didn't want to say the wrong thing, which he was in the desert. In the middle of the desert fighting. And then the doctor just called it off. And the doctor called it off. They are in the desert. I would have allowed it for that. And then Johnny Walker obviously pushing the ref. Dana has to come in. It was a whole
their fights, just let it go on, man.
That's what Joe Rogan has said.
Their heads in.
Joe Rogan was like, look, let's just put one back in one corner, one back in the other. And
that other guy was fuming.
What about the nut shot one? Did you see the nut shot one? Where the ref goes, you got kicked in the groin. And he had to go hospital because his nuts were like mad swollen.
Yeah.
That might not have been on the main card. That might have been on the prelims, to be fair.
Yeah, I can't really remember the prelims. I think some of them were good. I think there's some knockouts.
Yeah, let's go down and talk about it anyway. Do you think we'll head over to the UFC segment while we're waiting for Lawsy? Could I have our first show blowout? Don't even speak that one. For yous, I'll ask the question: is Islam Makhachev the pound for pound GOAT? Here's what Islam actually had to say when he was talking about John Jones in the pound for pound rankings.
You know, this is what UFC champion have to do. Like a real champion. If you're real champion, you have to take fight, doesn't matter how many days, who is gonna be, not like your pound for pound champion when they give him chills on him. If you're real champion, you have to fight. They put him number one, the number one guy right now, who he beat last 5 fights. We don't have some name from top pound for pound rankings.
His English is so funny, man. Obviously, there was 2 short notice fights to top the bill in the UFC card. Paulo Costa pulled out. Charles Oliveira out. In stepped Usman and Volkanovski. Did Islam cement his performance as the pound for pound best?
No, not really. Like, you can't say you're pound to pound best. Like, Volk's a weight under you anyway, and he took it on short notice. So, are you the pound for pound best?
Or did you just not think Volk had enough time to prep? It was a pip. The issue.
It's a hard one because go on.
The issue with it is, I mean, if it's 4th, 3rd, 5th round, you can say like maybe Volk, all right, maybe Volk burnt out because he's not tired, or maybe, but then you can say he didn't prep, so he might have not got the he might have not known the head kick was coming, and Islam might have seen things in his game, but Islam took it on 11 days notice as well.
Yeah, true.
That's the difference, and it didn't go down, and it didn't go down to fitness. So fitness was wiped out. It was just sheer preparation in that 11 days to see what could you improve. I know Volk would have been doing more of a fat camp and trying to get weight down instead of probably preparing. But
I'd say only pound for pound though is when you go up a weight. I want to see you go up a weight, not come down a weight. Like if you got the minerals, you would go up a weight.
Pound for pound used to just mean dominance, just all out dominance. Like Khabib never went up a weight.
How much wins has he got, Makhachev?
He's got a decent amount.
Yeah, he's defended the title quite a bit.
I'll pull it up here. No, he's only defended the title twice.
What, he thinks he's pound for pound? He's got a good record, though.
So so let's go off his last 5. He beat Bobby Green, Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira cancelled, so Volkanovski. So Bobby Green, Oliveira, Volkanovski.
He did knock Volkanovski though.
Yeah, I think we have the video here of the knockout of Volkanovski.
Oh man, can't
Up
lie.
one.
Them kicks were deadly, man. He actually put him out.
Yeah, so it was a brutal knockout.
It's like
and I was looking to see like is Volk.
He was there.
I was looking to see like is Volk out? Like could he have continued? You know, sort of like the Aljamain Sterling one. Like could we see him actually continue? But he was out of it when he was face down. Really, like look at that. It's a pinpoint
top of the head, man.
Pinpoint head kick, headshot dead. This year has been full of head kicks.
He was hitting him hard with the leg kicks though. Yeah, fair play, man. No, he did beat him. You could say pound for pound, no. Beat him for ends.
But then you got John Jones, like that's who he's talking about. He's saying like, who has he fought in his last 5 fights? But John Jones actually did respond to that interview. I wish you all the best, Habibi. John Jones coming with the one-liners from his house.
Keep the goat out your mouth, man.
Yeah, John Jones
Jones comes down there, taps you up.
Until John Jones retires, he's the pound for pound best. That's just simple as that, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, he is. He's the goat, man. Like,
He
went for a run at his age.
Would you even go as far as say he's the throat goat?
That's a bit of you, isn't it? Curious D.
But yeah, to move like talking about Volk, like strictly Volk, I do feel sorry for him. He took it on 11 days notice.
I didn't listen to this.
He took it on 11 days notice. He actually explained why he took the fight. A lot of people said money. Islam said money, and this is what he actually said.
Again, obviously, a lot of people will say it's for the money and all that, but it was much more than that. Like I mean, it is hard. Like it really is hard for athletes. Sorry. I never thought I'd struggle with it, but I mean, like for some reason, when I wasn't fighting or in camp, I just do my head in. You know what I mean? I needed a fight, and then this opportunity come up, and you know,
Yes, Volk. What are you doing? No, you don't know what you're doing.
Ever tell me I don't know what I'm doing? Daddy's.
Yo.
I ain't a daddy for no reason.
Yeah, so Volk. You could see he's actually upset. I think Usman was quite upset when he lost as well. You got two guys who are not really used to losing as well. Both took fights on short notice, fell short. But
I don't feel like the Usman's that bad, man.
Usman's not as bad. We will get on to Usman in a minute. But where does Volk kind of go from here?
Bro, you took it on 14 days notice. Like, why? Like, you're still the man. Like, go do your thing. Don't let this, like, you can't let something like this affect you. Yeah, you're the man. You took it on early notice or late notice. Like, you went in there against the best. Yeah, it didn't work out well for you. That's cool. Just go do what you're going to do. Build yourself back up and get back out there. Don't it's one of them. That's the fight game, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
you took that risk. That risk would have paid off even bigger, but you didn't get it this way. So.
And like you said, he's taken a pound for pound goat on. Like, we're talking John Jones, Islam, and Volk underneath battling it out for 1A, 1B, really. So to take that on short notice,
it's a bit gutting because he's lost his 0, but you went up a weight, man. You tried it.
I don't think he had a 0.
Has he lost?
Yeah, he lost to Islam last time. And he lost before that as well, I think.
Shit.
I think he's lost. I think that was his 3rd loss on his record.
One, did he?
The UFC until the first Islam fight. He's actually fighting Ilia Topuria as well.
Yeah.
Which is a monster fight. I thought they were scheduling.
He lost the first Islam.
I thought they were
a draw. I don't know why.
I thought they were scheduling the first.
No, I think the first one should have been him winning.
Yeah, same.
What
we score in control time. He didn't do much with control. It's a weird one. But that's down to judging and scoring and the rules not being set in stone. But Volk Ilia Topuria, that's a big fight, man. That is a good fight. But that is possibly another fight he could lose.
Who?
Ilia Topuria versus Volkanovski. That's the fight they're looking at doing next. He wants to get back out there. No real injuries. I think he had a split eyebrow, but it's not something that's going to keep you out for too long. Yeah.
He got knocked out, but he was still. He was up. He was like one of them bubble heads in a car. He's just like that.
I just don't think he was concussed that bad.
Dazed, didn't it? It looked like he was dazed, but he was just getting the Hail Marys laid on.
Who, Volk?
Yeah.
Nah, he looked. He was. Because
is that?
Yeah, he was sort of trying to get up, but his head was like so loose and bouncing around.
I don't care.
And then onto the co-main event. Did Hamzat stock lower? I thought it was a very good performance from Hamzat. People wanted him to just go out there and take Usman out. No one's ever taken Usman out. And I actually believe no one will, even when Usman's about to retire, no one will be taking him out like that. So, Usman's a dangerous man. We're talking about a fighter.
It's funny, though, because it's like everyone puts Hamzat on a pedestal. So you think he's just going to come out and destroy, but then we're also forgetting this is Usman. And that's what I forgot. I'm just thinking, Hamzat's going to come out here and do a Mazza. And because he's not done a Mazza, it's sort of disappointed. But, brother, I've got to remember, this is Usman.
Yeah, we're talking
about Usman.
Yeah, we're talking about a fighter who's had 7 championship fights. Yeah.
But you're not thinking of that. You're just thinking, Hamzat, everyone's on the hype train. Yeah, he's just going to get up, smash, bro. But I thought I'd see a little bit more hands and stuff like that. But you took him down, so... Well, I don't know what to say.
That's what I mean. Usman's had 7 championship fights in a row. This was Usman's first 3-round fight, 3rd round fight since January the 14th, 2018. So since 2018, he's only been doing 5-round fights. He's conditioned. He's championship ready. He's coming off 2 close losses to Leon Edwards. To close, he's bashing Leon Edwards up in the first one, got caught with a head kick. Second one is, we're talking a point difference.
It was a game.
We're talking 2 rounds each, and whoever won the last round wins the fight. Even on 2 days' notice, you don't just go in there and blow Usman out. No one has, no one will. So I actually take more out of the Hamzat performance from Hamzat.
This was upper weight though as well.
It was upper weight, but
you think he feels comfortable at upper weight?
Yeah, but you have to remember it's upper weight, but Hamzat's not he's a welterweight fighting now at middleweight. He's only had one camp at middleweight. He's not a conditioned middleweight. We're not talking.
Hamzat, he ain't.
No, Hamzat's. But
he ain't no welterweight.
No, but you
man.
thought
He's suffering to come down to that.
He's not a welterweight. He's in between because he's not a middleweight.
He's massive.
He's nowhere near as big as Duplessis, Paulo Costa, Bo Nickel.
Massive.
Even Israel's like tall. He's no Vittori. Because Hamzat, when I was looking at Hamzat and Usman, I was like, okay, Hamzat's taller. Hamzat's more long. Usman's wider, way wider. Like doubling him up.
What do you think, Mike?
I think he should go down to welterweight, man.
But Hamzat?
Yeah,
I thought struggled last
no, that was only because it was in New York.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, they've got like different rules for their like weight cutting and shit, and they waterload him.
Well, if they're fighting at welterweight, I think he might have mauled fucking
Hamzat.
Usman.
Yeah, he
because he would have blown up.
No. I don't think it works like that. I don't think it works like that. No. I don't think it works like that because he's not. Because I think you think Hamzat's massive.
Yeah, I do.
He's not.
He looks massive.
Because I looked at him next to Usman and I didn't think he looked that big.
No,
I think he beat Strickland though.
I think he beat Strickland, but now this is what I mean. There's still.
You think? Man, I've got to give it to Strickland, man. I've got to give it to him now. You know,
I think Strickland's good, and I think he's gonna. People say that when you win a title,
your level steps up.
Steps up. But I would argue Hamzat, he was fairly dominant.
Takedown,
the first round is arguably a 10-8. He controlled Usman for 5 minutes. Total control time over the whole fight, 7 minutes, 16 seconds of control time over 15 minutes. That's half the fight.
Smash everybody.
I smash your boy. That's half the fight.
He did control him in the first round.
But the real question is, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's not over for Usman, though.
No, whoever Usman fights next at welterweight is getting battered.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because he's not going to be fighting a Colby and he's not fighting a Leon. And I think whoever he fights next is getting severely beat up. And Usman's going to be back, and he's going to be back in title contention.
Yeah, but that'd be good. I want to see him get a little win. It must hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is the question I've got. The real question is, how does Hamzat deal with the bigger guys? How does he deal with the Duplessis? How does he deal with the Sean Stricklands? Sean Strickland's a big guy.
Apparently, he broke his hand in the first round, though. Rumour has it. We don't know. I don't know if has it been confirmed. I don't think it's been confirmed yet. So it's not been confirmed that he actually broke his hand. So. Okay. But he might have. I mean, I take his word for it. He's not going to lie about it. But I don't think Hamzat, I don't want to see him in an ideal world for me. I don't want to see him get the next title shot. I want to see him go back down to 170 and get the title shot there. That's what I think the UFC should do. He just beat someone on 11-day notice who was the former welterweight champ. He's not fought no one in middleweight. I think you let Strickland and Duplessis duke it out for that title. I think you give Izzy a break. Then Izzy, I think if Duplessis wins, will come back and want to fight Duplessis. And I think that's the way you go. And I think you give Hamzat a shot at the title at welterweight. The winner of Colby Leon. That's what I would do if I was Uncle Dana. But the only person... I wouldn't mind seeing Colby go down.
The 55?
Yeah, man.
He's just so good at welterweight, though. He doesn't really need to.
I know, but I'm surprised.
But he could. But I mean, I think if he wins the belt, there's more enticement to say, I want to be a double champ. It doesn't look like I'm going to do that up, but I can go down.
Yeah.
Colby Islam Makhachev, I would pay to see that shit. I would pay to see Colby Islam Makhachev. That is a serious fight. That's a good fight. But the only person at welterweight who deserves a title shot more, arguably, over Hamzat Chimaev is Bilal Muhammad. But he had some questionable things to say the other day, talking about his ranking and what he thinks about when he wins the title, how good he is. We'll play it for you people now.
My question is for Bilal. For the winner of Leon and Colby, who is it you'd rather fight out of the two for the belt?
I'd rather fight Leon because I think that one will mean more to me, right? It'll cement myself as the best welterweight to ever do it. So when you look at my resume, it'll be up there with GSP's resume. There'll be nobody else up there with me.
My question is for Bilal. For the winner of Leon and Colby, who is it you'd rather fight out of the two for the belt?
I'd rather fight Leon because I think that one will make.
his resume will be up there with GSP's resume if he
For some
beats
reason,
Leon
I can't
Edwards.
even hear none of that shit.
You can't hear none of that. Basically, what Bilal's
Obviously
saying is he's saying that if he beats Leon Edwards, his resume is up there with GSP's. There'll be no one else with a better resume than his.
Oh, is that much of a tear he's on?
No, he's not. That's a lie. That's the point. It's a lie because Usman, like we just said, 7 championship fights, beat Tyron Woodley, beat Colby Covington twice, beat Masvidal, beat Gilbert Burns.
Their names.
These are names we're talking about. We're talking about bridge guys. If you can't beat a Gilbert Burns, you can't fight for the title. I know Belal Muhammad's coming off a big Gilbert Burns win, and he is on a tear. He's an awkward fighter, weird fighter, and I think he's a good fighter. But to say that with a win over Leon, you've now got the same resume as GSP is crazy.
Yeah, he's up in the clouds, man.
Because who is he for? Luque, Brady. Like, I'm just talking big names that come to my head. Vincente Luque, Sean Brady, and Gilbert Burns. He's not fought. Oh, he fought Leon Edwards, but he got eye poked and they called it off in round 1. So he's not fought Colby. He's not fought Usman. He's not fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He hadn't fought Woodley when Woodley was about.
Is he still fighting?
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov, yeah, no. Undefeated. Chasing paper like money made. Because Brendan Schaub was actually talking about he would want to see Shavkat versus Ian Gary, but you know when you hear people talk about something and you know a bit more information about this subject, and I'm thinking, Brendan, my boy, give me a call, bring the Curious Fijian boys on, ship us over, fly us over to the Big Daddy Studios. Let's do a fight companion. But Ian Gary and they train together. They're training partners. So I don't think that fight's going to be happening unless it's for a world title. Because I feel like once it's world title level, you look at your training partner and you go, unless your name's Aljo and Thingy, you've both got a common goal. And that goal when you first started was to be world champion. It weren't to make a best friend on your come up. So that's a big fight. But yeah, Belal, I wouldn't mind seeing Belal versus the winner of Leon. You were saying earlier that
I see Belal and
Colby might be out, injured.
Yeah, I see something. Yeah, I see
unofficially
that he might be out. That who did I say earlier? Was it Belal might be filling?
Belal might be filling in. Unofficially.
I like that.
Unofficially official. So if that is, that's
I wouldn't mind seeing more Belal, man. I think he's an awkward fighter. I think he's got awkward style.
And he's been training with the Dagestani boys as well, isn't he? In camp with them. So it'd be an interesting fighter.
He's unorthodox, isn't he? He switches. He's weird.
So who do you think's next in line for the lightweight title?
I don't know why they just don't fill in Kamzat, man. Just let him fill it in.
For the lightweight title?
Yeah. No, not for the lightweight title, the welterweight. If Colby don't take it.
Yeah, because he's just had he's broke his hand. If he's broke his hand, he ain't gonna be able to do that.
I don't think he'd care.
And that's no, they'll give that one to Belal. They will give that one to Belal.
I think he deserves it, to be fair.
He does.
He's like the Dillian White of UFC.
That's long though, man. For Colby, what's going on? I want to see him fight, man, and I think he beats Edwards.
Nah.
I know I don't want to write Edwards off. Edwards is on a big win streak as well. You could argue Edwards' win streak is better than Belal's.
Yeah. Way better.
Yeah.
You can argue Edwards is on like a 9 fight win streak, 10 fight win streak.
And the caliber of fighters are better.
Usman twice.
That's
all you need. Doesn't matter about anyone else. Usman twice.
Longest
boogeyman.
Isn't he the longest reigning champion as well?
A minute.
At that point, 7.
Usman might have been the longest reigning welterweight champ. I think he was about to break Anderson Silva's record of like consecutive wins, but then he lost to Edwards' headshot dead.
That headshot was just insane, man. Zinc roof.
But obviously, you watched the full card for UFC 294. Was UFC 294 a flop?
It did feel like a bit of a flop, man.
It did, yeah. It was so quick,
but I think, I hyped it up so much, yeah. I'm thinking Kamzat, Usman, and then who's the main card again?
Volk
Makachev. And then obviously that Johnny Walker. And then obviously it just started, it was like, what's going on? And obviously I'm thinking Kamzat. I don't know why, man. I thought it was going to be more of a brawl. I thought it'd be like, Usman's gonna come out and it's gonna be like a showcase, but it wasn't. It was like kind of like but it was good to see him like take him down. But then again, I'm putting people on pedestals.
Yeah,
aren't
but do you not think, you hear a Bo Nickel talk and he talks about Dagestani wrestling and he's fought loads of these guys, Bruv, for Hamzat to go in there, grab a hold of Usman, put Usman down, keep him down for 5 minutes and take him down 2 more times. That is, who have you ever seen take Usman down like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Bo Nickel's just a younger wrestler. I think Bo Nickel mauls him. I ain't gonna lie. I think he does, man.
Like, you think Bo Nickel mauls
yeah,
Hamzat?
I think Usman's too old for the wrestling.
Oh, Usman.
I think it hurts Usman, innit, to wrestle.
That's why I think he avoids it.
No, but Usman wrestles though when he needs to. He was trying to wrestle Leon Edwards for the full fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, yeah, but you didn't. Have you still got it now, though? You're at older age. Your wrestling's still.
No, I feel like this generation's coming to an end.
It's a younger man's wrestling's for younger men, man. I feel like it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. You might not have it like that anymore.
No, I'm with you.
I don't know. It just don't look. His wrestling just don't look. It's not really look too dangerous, really.
Because I think
or
people
does the caliber just come up.
I generally think it's not a case of his wrestling. I think his striking's got so good, Usman, from where it was, where he doesn't rely on his wrestling anymore. People don't even try and take him down because they know they won't be able to, or he'll be in a better position if you try to take him down. His striking's got so good. Like, his striking was better than Hamzat's. He's a better striker than Hamzat. I said this. I said if Hamzat can mix up the takedowns with the striking and give Usman something to think about that he never has to think about. That's what Colby should have done to him. Colby should have mixed up takedowns and striking, and he would have had a better chance.
That's what I mean. Why?
Because I think Colby and Usman respected each other's wrestling so much that it was an ego thing.
That's gay.
If I go and try to take you down and I can't, everyone's going to say you're a better wrestler. If I do the same to you, everyone's going to say they didn't want to do that. So they stood up and banged for 5 rounds, for 10 rounds.
Hamzat's missing chances and getting back up and just trying to fucking maul you.
Hamzat's taking an ankle. And if he's got one ankle, he will burn himself out to the ground just to get you down.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy we're talking about. War-torn. You know what I'm saying?
There's good things to come, man. I'm looking forward to UFC. But I am really looking forward to Bo Nickel, man.
Big Bo Nick. He said he wanted that. He said he kind of was a bit annoyed the UFC didn't offer him that fight.
They're trying, but I feel like they want to make him a superstar. I'll just give it to him, man. Feed him to the lions, man. He's a big old boy.
What about the news that come out today?
What, John Jones?
John Jones, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking news.
I see people like asking for money for their tickets back because they paid thousands.
Yeah, someone we know from school
thousands
paid 1.5k to get over there, and he's gutted. Obviously,
yeah, because I think if you had Leon and Colby on that card, then it wouldn't have been as bad. Like, all right, John Jones dropped out, but you still got a good Leon Colby. But Pereira and Yuri is a good fight, but it's not a. It's not something you're going over to New York
to Madison Square Garden for. You know what I mean?
So what are they going to do now?
They've put someone on the co-main, ain't it?
Aspinall and
Pavlovich
are fighting for the interim title. Why didn't one of them just step in and fight Steve?
He didn't want it, apparently.
He didn't want it.
No.
Why is he being? This is his last fight, isn't it? That's why I think this is Stipe's last fight, and he's like, I need the money fight, and I need it for a title, so I can retire after that. I think that's what.
Stipe didn't want it.
Stipe don't want to fight these young cats coming through, man.
But he wanted to fight John Jones.
Yeah, because there's more on the line. If you beat John Jones, you're getting paid handsomely if you lose, and if he beats John Jones, it's so much risk and reward. The risk and reward is
it's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win. You lose, we all thought you were going to lose. You win, you're the GOAT.
And John Jones,
whereas him fighting one of the other ones is a lose-lose.
Tore his shoulder off or something like that.
Tore his pec. I think they're detached, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you seen the clip of it?
Where he's kind of like
wrestling goes for a takedown,
kind of like and then he sits there and he's like holding his pec. Yeah, tore his pec, man. 8 months out, I'm hearing.
8 months.
I'm hearing 8 months.
He might retire, you know.
You don't fuck around.
Do you
with
think?
The pec, man.
No, I think he wants one more. I think he does want one more. I think he looked so weird at heavyweight though, didn't he? That fight against...
That last one was just like that was just weird. Garn just like bottled it.
I would like to see him the like lightweight and heavyweight champ, like the double champ, man, and then just retire. 2 fights,
light heavyweight and
yeah.
But I think he stonks every light heavyweight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So go get both the belts and retire.
Who beats him? Pereira's getting put on his back and submitted as easy as Garn did.
Yeah, easily.
Easier.
Yeah. He holds fear into people as well.
Oh,
People
like
don't
Charles
wanna
Sonnen
fight
said,
him,
he's
man.
the only person he knew he'd lost before he stepped in the ring.
Like,
That's
imagine
mental,
Paxton,
innit?
like watching
Yeah.
his videos and that, breaking him down. You're just gonna be like, I don't want it.
And he comes in with spinning elbows in that, man.
Yeah.
Bones. He's bony
Yeah, he's a martial artist, man, for real.
at heart. But well, we'll reach the last segment. Obviously, Lawsy's blown us out. It's the first blowout of the Curious Fijian show, but we aim for greatness, and sometimes we don't reach the stars. But hopefully, what we'll do is we'll try get an interview with Lawsy sometime this week and just put it out on the channel anyway.
Lawsy, my
Gutted,
man.
man, because that was a big one. I wanted to do that one with him. Benwell Bomber, we'll catch you later in the week.
Mr. TikTok.
Yeah, let's touch on Luton. Lewis was going to come on. He said the only time he could do was 5:30. Obviously, we had an interview scheduled, so we just couldn't get that one done. But we will get something done with Lewis soon because he is the guy. He knows everything about Luton. He told us about Odoze Ogbene. He told us about Chong, but I still ain't feeling him. But yeah, this was some of the highlights from the game. Did you?
Second of the afternoon. Oh, the bounce might have killed him. And now Mengian. It's in by Chio Ogbene.
Chidoze.
Yeah,
A Luton Town lifeline as Chio Ogbene has slammed that into the roof of the net. Luton Town will be enthused by how they've kept the ball the last few minutes. Started to create opportunities as well.
And again.
Is there one more in it as it's thrust towards Adebayo, who brings it down. Adebayo! Limbs in the...
That's a great goal from Adebayo.
Yeah.
Like, you think as well, he just suffered racial abuse the other day because he missed that goal against Tottenham.
Racial abuse.
I think people disrespect him a bit, man.
I think Luton fans.
I think they disrespect him a lot, man.
Disrespectful.
He is disrespected.
He's long
Come
and
like Real
dangly.
Madrid fans.
Look at the goal. Look at the goal he
Yeah.
created in the playoff
Losing
final,
against
man.
Tottenham in the Prem, and we're racially abusing players.
That
Sad,
playoff
man,
final
2022.
assist that he done, man.
No,
One of the
this
best I've seen.
is the thing with Elijah Adebayo. He's not someone who's going to be a 10 out of 10 all the time. He sort of does one or two things per game that are like, wow, that was unbelievable. Like that goal there, he's chested it down in the box, ran onto it and scored. That's unbelievable. Like you were talking about the in the playoff final where the ball gets lobbed over, he touches it, lobs the player, cuts it back, does a chop, all this stuff. He does have moments of greatness. You'll see him crowded around three defenders and he'll take on all three. But then with that comes then on the next play, it might just bounce off his knee and go out of play.
Yeah.
On the next play, he might try dribble and run it off. He might take a shot and fucking slice it. He might miss a one-on-one or something like that. But you got to remember, like, no one's perfect. He's not a perfect player. We got him from League One. He is still very good, though, and I do like him. And to bring him off the bench, Carlton Morris is good, and he is very good. But to have an Adebayo to bring off the bench when we're not doing
it's a threat,
well,
just
bro,
physical,
it's
strong.
perfect. It's perfect because then if the option with Morris is not working, where we thump it long to him, now we got Adebayo like bringing Townsend on.
Yeah.
Ross
A
Barkley
bit of
coming
quality
on.
that's coming
A bit
on
of
with them
quality
too,
coming
yeah.
on.
What did they play like? They suit.
They come on and change the game.
Yeah,
when
they did,
when he
yeah.
made the changes, it changed the game. I'm still not a big fan of Chong.
Yeah, Chong's a pretty footballer, and Luton don't play pretty football to be able to utilise him to his best.
He does one thing too much every single time. I feel like with him, I feel like there's a pass on or a dribble on, and he does one thing too much and loses the ball, and then he has to work real hard to get it back. Like his work rate's there, it's just his decision making, and like you said, he's a pretty footballer. He tries to be too pretty. But having Ross Barkley on, you could see that now he's got a bit of fitness back. He looked good when he
looks
on.
the part.
I think we're gonna stay up because you're hearing the news today that's coming out apparently with Everton possibly losing 12 points. So that's them. I think Burnley are definitely going down because their identity of football is not good enough. They're not quality enough to play that level of football in the Prem. And I think Sheffield United might go down as well.
Burnley's a weird one because they were so good in the Championship and you thought they would have carried that on. But like you said, I feel like Luton are the only team out of the three teams that come up that have a wow factor. You remember like Burnley playing in the Premier League. They could they'll thump it long and people are not used to that.
Apparently their fans want to go back to 4-4-2.
They want to go back to long.
like Sean Dyche football
Vincent
back.
Kompany's not doing that.
No, he's not.
He's not doing that. If they want that, they should just come support Luton now. We're the team that does that. We're them guys.
Yeah.
You leave your club, you come support our club. But we've got that to us. Like we have a bit of an identity. We look very shaky at the back.
The defense was shit.
Hot knife through butter.
Osho trained yesterday with the under-21s, or today, I think it was.
That's big.
So he might be coming back soon.
I don't even watch
60
football.
minutes.
I just know their defense is shit.
Their defense is, honestly, some of the goals we're conceding is like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Like 3 passes and we're through. Do you know who looked very good in that Nottingham Forest game? Alanga,
yeah, he looks good. Man.
He was petrifying Reesberg.
Yeah,
running at him, and Reesberg wanted none of that. He shit his knickers when he was running at him. How much did they sign him for?
14 million, I think it was.
All right, so it was about 15 mil. All right, yeah, it's
Yeah.
out of our price range. But we got Adoze Ogbene. He gets his first goal of the season.
I really like him, man.
Probably, arguably, one of our best players.
Yeah, is it Jacob Brown?
Jacob Brown's very good as well.
Yeah.
He can't finish though.
No, he can't.
But his work rate, he will defend for 90 minutes. He'll get
Yeah.
forward for 90 minutes. He'll give everything he has, and he's actually not that bad. Technically, he's good. He just can't finish, or he needs to one finish. He needs one goal to sort of get that confidence.
What formation did Luton play?
I think it's like 3-5.
It's like a 3-5-2.
They play weird for me.
It's like different.
What does it like the 5 like?
No, so
round,
they play with like wing
a
backs.
3
They play
and then
with
like
wing
a 5
backs.
like that.
Yeah, it's like
It's
it's
sort of like a
basically
circle.
it's basically like. But have we been playing 4-3-3 though recently? I feel like we've been playing 4-3-3 recently.
Like,
but in game they'll change it to a 5 and go to a 4.
Like in attack and defense, it's completely different. Yeah.
But I think when Clark's back, Chong will get dropped, and it will be the midfield. The starting midfield will be Pelly, Nakamba, and Clark. I think. I think Ross Bartley. It might be too good to play how we want to play for full games. I think he's better to bring on if you're chasing a goal or if you need to just calm everyone down. I think he's one of them players.
I feel like you just need to assess your opponents with what type of players you're bringing on. Try not to change it too much. But I think they just got Andros Towns is only on a 6 month, and he's till
he only
January.
on a 6 month?
No, I think he's till 6
Shame
months.
they didn't have Snodgrass though, man.
No, Snodgrass can't cut it at this level anymore.
Yeah,
nah, he can't. He was good for us but remember he was playing with Alan Campbell and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
Alan Campbell was one of the best players 2 seasons ago, and he didn't even get a chance in the Premier League. Rob Edwards was like, hell fucking no. Too erratic. Out.
Alfie Doughty's been alright.
Alfie Doughty's been very good. I think Amari Bell's been very good. Lockyer's looked shaky. I don't think he's settled in well, but I think he needs a good centre back next to him, like an old head. He needs someone who understands the Premier.
He needs a general.
They
needs a
genuinely
general or a
should
good
have
goalkeeper.
got what's his name, the English guy that went to Leicester. We should have got him. I think they paid £4 million.
Connor Cody.
Connor Cody
would have been a key
for us,
signing.
man.
Connor Cody would have been a key signing, and he went. Yeah, that would have been a key signing.
It was £4 million he went for. Wasn't
I think he went for £8 million, but I think his wages are quite high. But Leicester look like they're coming straight back up.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
they're stonking teams down there. But Connor Cody would have been a good signing. I was cussing Lascelles. I still stand by it though. Lascelles hasn't got good Premier League experience. He's got Premier League experience, but we need good Premier League experience. Connor Cody for Wolves was good.
Yeah, we've kind of bought younger players. I
like it. And maybe Lockyer just needs a season just to calm down, relax, get used to when you start playing good teams, you start overthinking it and you think that they're better. Like I guarantee
you're not worthy to play here.
Yeah, like oh my god, we're playing
we're
Tottenham,
here.
we're playing Man United, we're playing Arsenal. Like shit, we got to give them respect. I think you're going to see Luton's best football. Mark my words. Clip me. You're going to see Luton's best football in the second half of the season. When they've played all the teams. When they've played all the teams and that fear's not there. They're like, what? We lost to Tottenham 1-0. Yeah. All right, we can get a result here. What? We only lost to these. We drew to Nottingham Forest 2-2 away. We'll get a result at home against them. Confidence.
Micah Richards thinks we're going to stay up.
Micah Richards.
He says we got something about us, Big Meech.
Big Meeks.
He's funny.
He's funny, isn't he, man?
Yeah.
They're funny.
And I think Ben Foster said he thinks Luton are going to stay up as well. And that's a rival saying that.
That confidence. It's hard though, isn't it? Good team though.
Yeah, Luton's a very good team. Very good team.
So what do you reckon about the defence then? They need to get...
I think I think in January they need someone... Like, do you know who would have been perfect but retired? Gary Cahill. I think. Like a player like that, Gary Cahill. John O'Shea would have been a good signing, but he's gone back to Man United. Just someone with a bit of...
Just experience.
Yeah, just a bit of
Old
something
head,
to calm everyone down. Just like, relax. But
Yeah, like you said, you got to find their feet, isn't it? Who's their next game?
next game's Aston Villa this week.
Aston
I've
Villa.
got a ticket to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
going up
Aston,
there?
Aston Villa on a tear.
Birmingham.
Bromley. Villa Park. Take me soul, lad.
Good luck. Fucking no, you haven't been to a game in a while.
No, well, Millwall. Me and Mikey went to Millwall last year.
Last year,
And the
yeah.
playoff final.
Oh yeah, that's when you two
But,
got separated, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to wait in a blooming alleyway for 2 hours, mate.
Yeah.
There's about 4,000 people in front of me to get on a train.
Yeah, it's mental, man. It will be good. But Villa are on a tear. But Lewis Williams actually thinks, he tweeted, he was like, because they've got all these stats like 14 wins at home, all of this shit, on like tearing teams up, and he was like, it's just going to be another fan base that Luton go and rattle. Like we're going to go there and take something off of them and shock people because we're going to be that team.
Take your women and drink your beer.
Take your women, drink your beer, and take your town, lad. It's Luton.
I'm saying, is it the 10th of November? Or no, the 11th of November. Man United Luton. I reckon Luton could.
At Old Trafford.
Man, you've been playing shit.
Yeah, awful.
What's up with it? I thought you sort of getting a bit better. What do you mean? I'm looking at both.
Nah, talk to him.
Huh? Both of you.
I'm relinquished on Man United.
We've got no identity.
Who's at the top of the league now?
Tottenham.
And who's second?
Man City.
Man City, Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah.
We're only 6 points off. Or 9 points off now, I think.
Yeah, 9 points off.
But we're only 6 points off City.
But they just don't look good. They don't look like they're getting better. They
don't
don't look like they're going to be getting any
We have had like 7 first-team injuries, though.
How many?
Like 7 first-team players injured.
Yeah, because Varane comes back for 2 games, then he's injured for 2 games.
Yeah, we got Luke Shaw injured. We got Wan-Bissaka injured. Who else? Martinez.
Who are you saying wins this year?
Who wins the league?
Who you got the money on?
Man City now. I thought Arsenal could have got the job done, but Man City probably. I think Tottenham haven't got enough in the locker to withstand what they're doing now for the full season.
You never know.
If Maddison gets injured, they're done.
The only reason I say that is because they're playing 1 game a week.
That is true.
They're not in Europe.
The only thing is, if Son or Maddison gets injured, they don't. I don't know where their goals are coming from. I don't know where their assists are coming from. Them two are cooking.
They are cooking.
They're cooking.
Question
like
is,
Maddison is cooking. Whipping it.
Question is,
Pyrex.
do you reckon they would be in the same position they are if they had Harry Kane, or do you reckon they're a better team without him?
I think the balance is probably better for Son to shine through now without Harry Kane, but it's hard to say that a 25, 30 goals a season striker
under Ange as well.
Under Ange. This is the issue because we didn't see if this was under someone else, yeah, like the manager who was just there, and Harry Kane had left or whatever, and then they started doing sick, you could say, all right, fair enough, they got rid of Harry Kane, they're a better team. But under Ange, we never got to see Harry Kane play under Ange. But Son's so good at that free role. He's so much better. He's so good at that free role. Maddison's just slotted in. Could you play Son, Maddison, and Harry Kane? Would that work? Would it work defensively? I don't know.
I think attackingly it would, because you'd hope that Kane don't drop back as far because you got Maddison to do that.
Yeah, true.
Do you think that was a good move for Kane?
He's been bagging, man. He scored again yesterday.
Who, Maddison or Kane?
Kane.
Yeah, Kane has been bagging. But you'd expect
Bellingham as well. Bellingham scored again yesterday. His goal yesterday was good, man. Edge of the box, just like
even for England,
curled it bottom right corner.
The difference, man. He's a baller.
Best player in the world right now.
Best player in the world, easily. Who do you think wins the Ballon d'Or? A lot of people still think Messi should win
I think Haaland should win it, but it's rigged. Messi is going to win it.
I don't see how he wins it. I don't. What, because he won the World Cup.
Yeah.
He done well in the World Cup. You cannot discount club football for a whole year.
He didn't even get into the Liga and Team of the Year.
But this is what I'm saying. So how can you win the Ballon d'Or if you didn't have a good full season?
Yeah, because they're just Messi. Them that FIFA, he loves sucking Messi's dick, man. He's a dick rider for Messi.
He does love Messi.
He loves Messi. They love Messi.
He's the Messiah, but he does love Messi.
Yeah, but he is. But some people are overboard with him.
Yeah, they are.
Well, we find out on Monday, I think. The official announcement on Monday.
For what? The Ballon d'Or?
I think so, yeah.
Was Kane a good move? Was it a good move to go to Germany? What was he getting out of Germany? Was he getting out of going to Germany? What did he get out of it?
I think what
they could win a Champions League.
I think what his plan, what his agreement is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bayern Munich go up there for fake. Like outside of I'd say you got Man City, Bayern Munich. I don't even think Real Madrid are good enough to win the Champions
League. Can always class Real Madrid.
I've had a nap. Then what?
When you had a Benzema there.
So what I've heard, I don't know how true it is they have him for a year.
Oh.
And Tottenham have the option to buy him back.
That's a better deal.
But I don't know how true
Who
that
the
is.
fuck wants to go Germany, man?
But it's only worth it if he wins the Champions League. Because me looking at him as a football fan, I would think a bigger achievement is getting the Premier League all-time goal scorers than getting a Bundesliga, which was already guaranteed.
He might be kicking himself.
They've won
he
it.
might have made one of them impulsive decisions, isn't it?
Possibly.
Maybe got a little bit fed up.
How Tottenham are doing now, it could have been.
Yeah,
an
I'd
impulsive
be a
decision.
little bit scared.
But I don't know what he had to lose from just playing the season at Spurs for another year. What did he have to lose? He would have got another 25 goals, so he would have been 25 goals closer to that time.
Something's happened internally.
From what I've been taught, from what I've looked on Twitter and been like read and shit, is he didn't want to leave Tottenham in the dirt. Like, as in, like, he wanted to leave getting them money for them instead of leaving on a free and going to like Man City or Man United or Chelsea.
What is wrong with this guy?
Why did he just?
He hasn't got shares in Tottenham Hotspur.
Why did he just donate some money back? Yeah, but he don't remember. No, you remember. He don't know fucking gentleman's
agreement.
Okay, when you do that, you're proper.
That's just pathetic, man. It's just pathetic. You're a professional footballer. Tottenham do not give a fuck about you, mate. You lispy twat. Because he realistically... No. It's annoying. It's annoying, though. Because he, like Mikey said, yeah, everyone says that it's not a bigger achievement. Winning the all-time English goal scorer is not a bigger... It is, because that's all we talk about in this country. All we talk about is Alan Shearer's... No one remembers Alan Shearer for winning a Premier League, do they? They remember Alan Shearer for being the all-top... When you think of Alan Shearer, you think goal scorer, top English goal scorer. Not, he won a Premier League with Blackburn.
Yeah,
no one fucking cares about that.
Yeah, this is what
no one cares about.
That's what they're going to say about Kane. He's won a Golden Boot in a World Cup and he's won a Bundesliga.
And he's the all-time England top goal scorer, all-time Premier League top goal scorer. Who else has done that? Alan Shearer didn't do that.
Yeah,
the Premier's on fire as well.
But he could. But Harry Kane's one of them players that could play. He don't rely on pace. I feel like players who don't rely on pace could play until they're like late 30s.
I was listening to Gary Lineker because they got a podcast. Gary Lineker, Mika Richards and Alan Shearer, and they were basically not giving it a dig, but putting an asterisk next to the England goals from like 5-6 years onwards because they obviously play in more friendly games.
It is true. It's not competition football.
Yeah, and they didn't get as many games playing.
But I don't like all these friendlies. I still stand by what I've said. I feel like the friendlies, if you want, because
they're boring.
Because the new Champions League layout starts next year. And it's 2 extra group games for everyone. Yeah, I think it's a league table. I think you have to play 8. I think it's either 6 or 8 games. I'm not sure how they're doing it yet.
You better start putting these motherfuckers on steroids.
This is what I'm saying because that's extra games.
That's
now.
wear and tear.
And you want them to do all these friendlies and these crap UEFA competitions for England and that. I feel like if the only time Premier League football should stop from going forward should be for a qualifier or a World Cup, not the Nations League. No friendly competitions. If you want to do friendly competitions, the league goes on. If you want to go play for your country, go play for your country. You've got to leave your club team.
That's like rugby.
Like rugby.
All
as a team, it makes sense not to go play them. You'd be better off resting your players.
Yeah, but most of the players now prefer playing for the country than they do their club.
Because it's like a little holiday camp. They get to see the boys.
All their friends. Like,
what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
What are we doing it for?
Yeah, but if you could be winning a Prem, man, what's more serious?
Well, I don't know. People would say
that's
winning
what
a World Cup's probably a bigger achievement.
Yeah, but they better start playing like a
What was the bigger achievement? Yeah, let's say you won a Prem and a Champions League, or you won a World Cup. What's a bigger achievement?
World Cup.
World Cup.
That's
how they're probably thinking.
I think World Cup.
But they ain't going to win a World Cup under.
Yeah, no. A World Cup over the Premier League any day.
World Cup.
Because it happens every 4 years. It's not something you can just win every year.
Like sentimental. England, do you reckon they got a good chance of winning World Cup?
It's Euros next, isn't
it? Maybe the Euros. I don't think they'd win the World Cup. I genuinely think that if there's no chance for him winning anything with Southgate being the manager.
Yeah, man. He's too passive, isn't he, man? They need fire. England have got a team to be fiery, pace, quick football, not some of this passive shit.
Yeah,
Southgate's got PTSD.
I agree.
I feel like he's served his job. His job has come in. He's made the group one.
It's a dangerous game we're playing here, though. Dangerous game we're playing because we said this about Arsene Wenger. We said this about a load of people where they've served their purpose. We put ourselves on a pedestal and think do we think we're better than what we are? We put ourselves on a pedestal because
the only team in the world that are better than England on paper, with players, are France.
Yeah.
No other team should beat us on paper and the bench we have.
But that's what I mean. Does another manager necessarily get the best out of this team? Because we think it's easy as just playing more attacking.
I feel like you need a different philosophy, innit? You need someone to come in who's...
It hasn't worked two in a row.
Spice up.
You didn't even get... What was it? We lost in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. We didn't even get to the semis. We lost to France.
We should have beat France as well. They were very beatable.
We lost to an aging Italy team.
In the Euros...
No, the Euros was like...
battered Italy.
He robbed us of that because I say it to this day, Chiesa was the only player on the pitch for Italy causing a trouble. And he went off in the 80th minute injured.
Yeah.
Load the box. Yeah. Stack everyone in. Let's win a game of football. Let's Joe Laws, 11 days notice, drinking champagne and eating cheesecake. Put your nuts in the sack and let's take a chance.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like American football, because they put their nuts in a sack and they take a chance. They make ballsy calls that other people wouldn't do.
Southgate's very passive in his risk. He's like...
Well, he's still playing players that are... Well,
yeah, but you're playing players, but I feel like England's team is it's a fiery... I don't even watch rugby, but I just look at their team and I think it's fiery, and he don't play a fire.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Try it. Why don't you try it in the friendlies? This is what friendlies are for. Like, why don't you switch it up? Why don't you show, okay, I'm Gareth Southgate, but I'm going to switch my whole game up? This is what I mean. Like, people in life here, you have to adapt to situations. And I feel like he's just stagnant.
I think he'd
Why don't you adapt?
I think if he was in a club level manager, he'd get relegated.
Oh, easily.
Well, why are you not playing? Like, why are you being passive?
You get away with a lot more international, though. Like, you don't have to be as good as a manager to be an international manager.
Yeah.
I can't really.
Like I said, I think he served his purpose. His purpose was to get the team, like, they were all used to be split, like Rio Ferdinand that said. Manchester United would all sit on a table. They'd come down an hour earlier for dinner. Then now they're all friends. You see them. They're all hugging each other after games, and they've just played like a North London derby or a Manchester derby. No, just you've done that now. Get a manager in that's going to utilise the best out of all them players. Look who we've got. We've got Saka, Rashford, Foden. Like, we've got Bellingham.
What are you trying to say? Football's gone gay?
Oi.
It's soft.
Gay?
Weak men create hard times.
Hard times create.
Hey, listen, people, leave your comments down below. Gareth Southgate in or out?
And will Luton stay up? And did Hamzat Shemaev's stock go down? Is Islam Makhachev the pound for pound GOAT? Charlie Herd, is he going to be the world's biggest promoter? I like his ideas. I like his philosophy. Is Sam Creasey going to get the job done this week? If you didn't listen to the interview, wait for this to finish. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, then go back and watch Sam Creasey. Joe Laws has been in contact. He can't make it on tonight. We're sorry about that. I'm upset. You should be upset, but he said he's going to do an interview with us this week, so we will have one out there for you in the next 7 days. People, Mike's hit my outro music.
This is Raining Diaz.
People, thank you for tuning in to the Curious Fijian Live Show. It's another one. If you like these, I like doing them. I probably prefer doing them than doing like the current events. But we hope you enjoy it, and we hope you always stay rocking. We hope you're doing the best you try and do in everyday life. And
all right, man, come on with like a little preachy one, Martin Luther.
It's not about how you start, it's how you finish.
He's just gone on a roll.
One minute. I'll leave on a quote. Let's leave on a quote.
Yeah, because we're in the world's in a bit of trauma at the minute.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. People, it's been another episode of the Curious Fijian live stream, and peace.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.